Independent investigation. Welcome to Truth Tuesday, where we'll look into possible media manipulation. We'll find out what a viral video posted by the government did to create an impossible scenario where Benghazi happened, creating worldwide panic. And why did it come out of the White House? What did Hillary know? How come the Benghazi hearing didn't talk about the specifics of her email? We're America's third party. And we are here to bring you America's third party solutions. We're dedicated to peace and ending the profit of war. All right. Is this your future? Or do you want to step out of the two-party paradigm and start a third party with us? We are building America's third party, everybody, and you are here to talk about the truth. I don't believe that Trey Gowdy asked the questions that were needed. Now, we've got some people that watched the 10 hours that the robotic candidate Hillary has actually delivered. 10 hours of testimony that only a robot could have handled. Reading off a script, pre-screened questions, and nobody really got the truth. Why did she go on a web search looking to hide her emails? Was that question even asked? I can't wade through 10 hours of testimony to get it out. Did any of you see the testimony? Did Trey Gowdy ask anybody, or her, Hillary, why she was on a web search to hide her emails? Did that question even come up? That was the most telling question of all, I thought. Yeah, well, she got her emails destroyed for 5 months, and I'm sick and tired of hearing about how the Republicans are going to do something and they never do. So we're frustrated with the Republicans for not having solved the problem with the Hillary case, and we're seeing the Democrats seize on this as like some sort of an opportunity for Hillary. Well, she was shining again. No, that's a manipulation of your mind. You're here to believe that the Robo-Clinton is somehow benefiting the world when in fact she's just simply reading off a script like Barack Obama. And many of you Democrats are in repeat. You can't even stop the repeat. Hey, hi, how are you? Hi, it's David. Going okay, yeah, we're you kind of missed Sarah. She's not here yet. She'll be in a little while. Oh wait, no, wait a second. I think I hear her. Hold on. Oh, that would be too weird if she was coming right in the door, wouldn't it? How are you doing? Wow. Oh my goodness.
There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered, ducked and covered. He did what we all must learn to do. You and you and you and you. Duck and cover.
Be sure and remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing. That's what this film is all about. Duck and cover.
This is an official civil defense film produced in cooperation with the Federal Civil Defense Administration and in consultation with the Safety Commission of the National Education Association.
Produced by Archer Productions, Incorporated. Hey, Bert, come on out and meet all these nice people, please. Oh, all right. We really can't blame you. You see, Bert is a very, very careful fellow. When there's danger, this is the way he keeps from being hurt. Sometimes it even saves his life.
Are you going to be a turtle?
That's why these children are practicing to duck and cover,
Duck
just
and
as you do
cover.
in your school. We all know the atomic bomb is very dangerous.
Oh, he said the big word, the atomic bomb. Ooh, scary. Ooh, ah. Yeah, so how many of you have built your bomb shelters and prepared for the coming atomic apocalypse? Feel free. Anyone have any questions about the future atomic war, the World War III scenario that is being played out by Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and the Republicans? Do you have any questions about why they're starting a war with Russia and positioning with jockeying for power with China and positioning with the pivot to China plan here in the Pacific Northwest? Our government is really gearing up for war with China too. Anyone have any questions as to how we got here? Because you all voted two parties, you idiots. I'm sorry, did I call you idiots? I'm sorry, some of you are independents. I didn't mean to alienate my voters, or maybe non-voters. We're dealing with a hellish situation here. We keep voting two parties and expecting different results. That is the definition of insanity according to Albert Einstein. And, you know, he's dead now, but you don't vote. Okay, good. Well, if you really... I didn't mean to call you an idiot. I'm sorry. Unlike Barack Obama, he would never say he's sorry. But I got to tell you, this is going to come bite us in the ass if we don't get taken down by a nuclear weapon. If we don't start this beautiful and wonderful concept of a third party, we're never ever going to have any political power whatsoever, guys. I'm not trying to freak you out. It's just that we are at this junction point because of bad leadership. You've been called worse, really? I'm sorry, Hawkster. I'm sorry I called you idiots. That's no way to start a show. Whoa, calling me gay? Well, I am kind of feeling happy today, but I'm not gay by the current definition. Can you say moron? Well, they have been predicting the outcome of a nuclear war ever since the nuclear time clock started its ticking. And now it's 3 minutes to the top of the hour, thanks to Barack Obama. I don't try to insult people. I'm just angry that nobody's been able to see the vision that I've had for 7 years, except for you, the supporters, and the people that are telling people about us. It's just so hard for me to realize that we have been led down the two-party pathway to the slaughterhouse. Either you're a Republican or a Democrat, either one, there's a stall for you, waiting for you. And the ultimate end game is depopulation. So, yeah, so what we want to do is kind of figure out where we're at and put the brakes on this tendency to hate on other countries, especially Russia and China, the two superpowers that we would engage in a nuclear war. We also need to be a little clearer about our approach to Iran. Yeah, we're also dealing with a situation where they, before the treaty was signed, they said they weren't going to create nuclear weapons. After the treaty is signed, they said they're not going to create nuclear weapons, but they now can create a nuclear weapon in 1 year and 1 day. And we gave them $155 billion. So we kind of handed over the baby with the bathwater on that one. It's not over yet. Israel will probably have a conventional strike and take out most of Iran and put them back into the dark ages again. So it's okay. If you get a person like Hillary, she'll piss off the rest of the world and turn our nation into the laughingstock of everything. Comb your hair. My hair is combed. What are you talking about? This is who you want to vote for. The babbling robot. Well, yeah, I mean, Israel's going to definitely attack Iran. If you haven't realized that yet, you know, you're probably one of the few. It's just a question of time, and that'll trigger international conflicts between Syria and the U.S., as well as Iran and getting support from Russia. Yeah. No, sir, you are the person who's going to be sitting there in cinders wondering why your little tootsies are all radioactive someday. And you'll go, gee, I could have supported this guy, Dave, but oh no, I had my head up my ass, and I was voting two parties the whole time. I never said I have 155 billion. I'm talking about us giving Iran 155 billion. What are you, mentally retarded? This is no way to start the show. You're starting to look like Hillary. All right. Back to the mesmerizing thought that you're going to be sent into a world of crap. Did I tell you that Jade Helm is actually part of the AI, Jade 2.0, operating military command center, which is, by the way, listening to this show? Did I tell you that? They can hear everything we're saying. It is part of their protocol to listen in to all social medias. You think I'm kidding? No. We are literally... You got a joke for me? That's not even funny. You're sick. You need help. Move to New Jersey. Nobody will convert you back to being straight. You'll be fine. You'll be protected. Chris Christie will protect you. Does anyone have any questions about the order of the universe? Would you like to answer any questions? Have I slowed down the hate? This tool was given to me by a person on the internet to lower the level of hatred in the show. Is it working? Okay. All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about what's in the news, unfortunately. Are you going to be a turtle and hide? Why not? Seriously, how many of you are digging a bomb shelter right now because you think the end of the world is coming? Anybody? Nobody? Somebody? You think that global climate change is going to kick our butt? You don't fear death, so you don't even care if you're radioactive? Really? Wow. We got a person who doesn't fear death. Wow, this is amazing. I got a good one here, folks. We got a live one here. Guest 5308 doesn't fear death. Wow. You're one of those fearless ones, eh? Okay. I'm not sure what to make of that. What do we think when a person says that? What do we normally think? That they're maybe... You fear your big hemorrhoid. Yeah, you're the kind of person who would fear having a hemorrhoid. You wouldn't fear death, but you'd fear having a hemorrhoid. Right. Is he? Is he one of the kamikazes? I'm looking for my meter. I haven't... Come on. Where are you? Decided to hide the whole day. Yeah. Oh well. It was fun while I tried to look for it. There's just too many dang things I gotta do here. Yeah. You fear Dave might get elected to local dog catcher? That's funny. I wasn't hypnotizing you. That was not my intention. You're not. It's a total... Oh, are you one of those people who's not afraid to die too? Oh, wow. We've got a lot of people in the Matrix here. You have been trained. You've been desensitized. Really? Maybe you have been desensitized to the reality that death is painful. I know people that talk to me and they say, oh yeah, they don't fear death. So you're one of those people who would check right into the FEMA camp, I assume. You ready to morph? You ready to morph into the next dimension, Mr. Anderson? Mr. Anderson! Yes. You have decided you don't fear death, Mr. Anderson. Somehow you are different than all the rest, that you are invincible. Well, you're no better than the rest of them, Mr. Anderson. That's a total lie when people say they don't fear death. I mean, come on. We are here to talk about the truth, and we've got two people in here who are absolute liars. Right now, right here, in our show, BSing about the truth. Of course they fear death. They probably spend their time at night wondering, oh golly, oh. So they go to the chat room and they pretend they're, oh, Mr. Brave. You know, my father always used to say, you know, a lot of people find their courage at the bottom of a bottle. Are you drinking? Are you a drinker? Are you burying your woes and fears and everything else in booze? Are you like, I can handle it? Amazing how many courageous people walk around with about 6 beers in their belly. You'd be surprised how many courageous people there are with 6 beers in their belly. Hell yeah, I don't fear death. Life is painful and it's that bad and you would welcome dying? That's just... Are you listening to what you're saying? I mean, that's just not even logical. Maybe you should drink. 165? You know, have you thought of altering your sense of reality? You know, I could play beautiful music that'll change your personic, even, you know, experiencing music helps change your entire daily life. Aromatherapy might help. But you're not really thinking through this very clearly. You need to realize that death is painful, and once it's over, of course, then you go on to the next stage. And I don't want to talk about that. Because that's where your religion and your faith comes in. And we're not a religious show. Maybe you're an atheist who doesn't believe in anything. Maybe you're just here to have a good time, huh? And then you're one of those guys that says you fear death. You don't fear death. Oh, okay. It's amazing how many people have turned to atheism nowadays. Okay, well, thank you. I'm talking to whoever wants to say that they don't fear death. I think that's a lie. And this is Truth Tuesday, so I find that rather interesting. Giraffe brain. Fatal shooting of 19-year-old Zachary Hammond. Oh, this is so sad. I must warn you, this may be very delicate to watch, so you may want to close your eyes. Police brutality is on the rise. That was it. Apparently he got him in the window. He took off. Fleeing from a police officer can be very deadly. You know, there are a lot of people dying now because cops are chasing them on the highways. This happened in recently in Georgia. 2 beautiful girls were killed when a guy decided to hit the road. He's a cop. He'd already been warned about his dangerous driving 2 times before, and he got on the road and he went 90 miles an hour and he T-boned these 2 beautiful girls. I mean, that's just the sickest thing ever, to see 2 beautiful girls die for no reason. So I would definitely impose some restrictions on police activities. One of the things I want to do is limit the amount of money that any municipality gets when they are brutal and they have a history of brutality. The money factor really plays a big part in what people do. Believe me, when you tell them they're not going to get paid if they continue this, and it'll be a complete top-down thing where the federal government will shut off all funding to that city. for cops, for salaries. They won't want to do that. So we're going to use that purse string control to try to limit the brutality at first. We also like to offer a different plan, a sensitivity training plan for the young police cadets and many officers who've been, accused of brutality. It would apply to as well. What we want to do is a new protocol so that we don't have a shoot to kill plan, and that we basically, if the person is unarmed, it's strictly shoot to maim. We don't want people getting killed in the head or vital organs necessarily because they're just talking back to a cop or fleeing from a cop. But if somebody presents a weapon, I think the cop has every right to blow his head off, clean off. But only if that case scenario happens. In the case of the Brown case last summer, a person grabbed the gun of the cop and used it against him. In that case, it was a justifiable shooting. And that was a grand jury investigation that found that out. Well, how about not hiring people that had milk money stolen as kids? Yeah. Training is a big part of it. Yeah, I guess 145. Opening up, expanding the opportunity for police officers of any intelligence to run for that job, and not limiting it to a person with an IQ of 107 or lower, like the police do now. We need people who are really intelligent to be good detectives. So limiting the number of people with above 107 IQ in the police force is a big mistake. So that's another protocol change. The smarter, the better. I personally think that they had a right to speak out in front of the population in Seattle. The woman who spoke out in front of Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders, creeped away and snuck out of the crowd. He couldn't handle it. I think she should have had a chance to talk, and I think I would have engaged her. I would have talked right on with her. I would have gotten in her face and said, hey, calm down, calm down. I want to listen to you. Let's talk. Yeah, they had every right to. Hey, when you look at it this way, we're all in this together. If people are pissed off and they're not getting heard, don't you see that as a political problem? Because that really is the reason why our party is even growing, because people are pissed off and they don't have anybody to speak out for them. Yeah, she had the right to step on stage and speak out, absolutely. Bottom line, I wouldn't have been in a situation like that, frankly. I just wouldn't have put myself in a position where I'm in front of a mob of people and everyone has weapons. I don't know what he's doing. Does he even know what he's doing? But I would definitely give her a chance to speak out. I think people are upset that blacks are getting, heck, whites are getting killed. 635 people have been unarmed, killed by cops this year alone. Well, you're wrong. I believe anybody has the right to speak out. I believe in freedom of speech, Beekman. What country are you living in? If I had only answered contributors, Jason Bourne, I wouldn't be answering any questions here to anybody. None of you have made any donations. Well, maybe one of you has. I am not currently electrified. I am grounded so that anything I touch with rubber on it is neutralized by my body. Is my voiceover synthesizer working properly? It seems to be necessary to tune it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You donated. Thank you, Drag King. You did. You sent me an empty letter in the mail. Thank you so much. You can't handle the truth. Is that what you're saying? Well, I had some guy lying in the chat room saying they weren't afraid of dying. It was like, come on. What world are you living in? Before we started our show, we profiled a woman, Miriam Carey, who was essentially killed driving her vehicle into the White House area, around the White House, outside of it, and they basically followed her in this car chase all the way about a half a mile away and cornered her car and then blew her head off. And she was unarmed.
Continues to try to evade the police. This is right near Capitol Hill. عمر اطلعوا بيا دلوقتي على طول فوقنا يحصل في ضرب نار قدام الكونجرس.
The foreign channel that was covering at the time.
يلا احنا
Sitting off
هناخد
that, you're hearing some
مصورينها انا والمصور.
Arabic that apparently is from the person who shot the video, who filmed the video.
Miriam Carey died that day.
TV, that's the U.S. Channel for the Middle East. I want to bring in Tom Foreman right now to discuss what we're watching in this video. There is some foul language you might detect. Also, of course, gunshots.
Yeah, and this is interesting. This is interesting, Jake, because this is something we didn't really know, is that the car was clearly stopped. This is by the James Garfield Memorial, which is not very far from the Capitol steps, really. And when this car is cutting right here, it is cutting between the steps of the Capitol, where the president takes his oath of office, and the National Mall. And then, when the car starts circling around here, it's driving around sort of the mirror.
All right, so she died that day. She was shot in the back of her head. So for all of you who are not afraid of death, let me give you the specifics. She was shot in the back of her head and 4 shots down the back of her spine. She was completely unarmed. And the sister of Miriam Carey went to the court and filed a lawsuit against the Secret Service, the White House, for killing her sister. And the judge threw the case out. Relegated to the trash can. So there's justice for you, huh? Unarmed woman drives into the White House area, doesn't hurt anybody, wants to see the president because she believes that her daughter is the love child of Barack Obama. Been there in the area 5 times trying to do the same thing. Somebody got in her car and decided to take her for a ride. Now, for some reason, the news at the time covered the story. The truth of the matter is the news covered the story as a 2-person in the vehicle. Now you can see from this picture right here, there's 2 heads here in the vehicle. Because this is the same vehicle, this is the Infiniti Q60S Coupe, exact same car. And those 2 heads, as you can see, are not headrests. The headrest is smaller. There's 2 people in that car. Anyway, I believe a guy got in the car and drove her down the street, got out of the car, left her in it, grabbed the kid, and then the police proceeded to blow her away. You know why they blew her away? Does anybody know? Does anybody know why Miriam Carey was killed? Sitting there unarmed, posing no danger? No.
You fucking mug!
Because you have no clue as to what justice is in a country that's warped and confused. What are you talking about that's so important? I'm showing you a woman that's getting blown away by our White House staff, and nobody seems to care. You don't see a problem with that? Well, the story disappeared. Mainstream media won't carry it, but I carried it because it's Truth Tuesday. Anybody wants to check in, the FEMA check-in is right here. You think the people that blew her away care about your future? Wow. Boy, we got a long way to go, don't we? I know you care. But think about it. You could have the most psychotic person in the White House. Could be like Clockwork Orange. Who's it going to be? Will it be the Hillary or the Donald? It's coming down to Hillary and Donald and now Ben Carson. You got to wonder, because none of those people have the mental acumen to deal with the crisis. Even basically Ben Carson is a guy who, an affirmative action graduate who became a brain surgeon with 3 malpractice accusations against him. I mean, what are we thinking? A bad doctor for president? A Wall Street corrupt, greedy pig for president? Or a woman who has a power grab so intense that she can't break away from it. She's so intensely in need of power. Me, I'm pretty, content just being me. Here's the Hillary picture that scared the heck out of everybody. I'm going to be bringing it into the Halloween show. It shows the real intent of this woman. She's really greedy, as is Donald Trump and everybody else. I have ideas to change Social Security too. You can like them all you want. Bottom line is, Carson doesn't really have solid positions. He's very, very kind of wiggly. He reminds me a little of John Kerry versus, kind of a Republican version of John Kerry. Help is on the way. Help is on the way. I don't have a problem with a black man running for president. I think it's great, personally. And on a personal note, I probably would like to talk to, Ben Carson. But he has such a weak backbone. You can just see when they asked him, what do you think about Donald Trump claiming John McCain was not a hero? Instead of standing behind John McCain, a fellow Republican, Ben Carson kind of said, well, everyone has a different definition of what a hero is. It's just spineless. I'm tired of it. We need people with real solid beliefs, not wishy-washy flip-floppers like Ben Carson. And then again, we got a guy with Donald Trump who doesn't even know what he believes. He borrows his ideas from me. That's kind of interesting. I guess whenever he's running short of ideas, he can come into our room and just watch our show. I'm not a scary guy. But I mean, you could see how a person, could be in love with power. It could get kind of out of control. So there's a lot of things that you have to worry about when you have a leader. And when you put, a leader in a position where they can make big changes, it can kind of mess things up and turn our entire nation upside down. Yeah. So we have to be wary of what could happen in the event a leader like that comes into power.
You fucking mug.
Now, I don't use the F word on this show. I had no idea that there was the F word in here, but they kind of look alike, don't they? Same size mouth. I know, I'm a little freaked out too by the whole thing. I'm going to take it down. It's kind of scary. Thank you. We'll pull FEMA out of the picture too. We don't need that. Ah, I disappeared. How about that? So would you like a chat room in the Oval Office? I know I would love to. No, I don't mind Ben Carson as a conversationalist. I would not mind having a nice conversation with him. I just don't know if he's the guy that we really need. I don't know. That's a little too favorable of the Hillary. This is the robot Hillary in Technicolor. To the beat, no less. Yeah, this is a younger Hillary of Beekman. It's inappropriate to give us any pictures with younger Hillary. We need the old bat Hillary. Okay? So please don't give me anything prior to like last year. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so let's take a look at the news. I just wanted to get things going in general. I don't care who is voting for who at this point. Stop dividing the country. Let's just focus on the issues. Would I have sex with Hillary if it would make me president? Absolutely not. I would never violate the trust that I have in my monogamous relationship. I would never violate the trust that I have in my monogamous relationship. It's not possible either. Absolutely not. No way. No. How could you have sex with somebody who has a robotic body part? That's scary. Yeah. I mean, it's like saying you really like these amazing Donald Trump butt plugs. I mean, that's bound to turn you on, you know? Come on. Are any of you getting aroused? Any of you at all? Just honestly, is one person in the entire show getting aroused by these amazing Donald Trump butt plugs? No, of course not. Miss Hatsui is. Uh-oh. I know. Okay, here, let's take a look at the news. Okay, there it is. Now it's gone. It was definitely gay, I must say, yeah. Hey, finally, I'm trying to get him on for almost an hour. Are you serious? Whoa. Wow, an hour to get into the show? We couldn't possibly be that popular. No, honestly, you guys have me pegged for a greedy, power-mongering person. I'm not. I'm not like the other politicians running. In fact, I'm not even emotionally invested in winning the presidency. I've already got my future planned out for me. House Republicans, in a last-ditch effort, moved to impeach IRS Commissioner over the violation of the public trust and lying to Congress as it investigated the treatment of conservative groups. So that's interesting. House Republicans finally growing some short hair down there. Going to oust the IRS Commissioner. Thank you. Walgreens says it will buy smaller drugstore rival Rite Aid. Walgreens is kicking butt. Rite Aid is getting sucked in. And you notice that all the Walgreens are now, you know, built like detention centers. Have you seen that? There's only one way in and no way out. Don't try to look into that too deeply, because it could get weird. All right, so what's else? Deeply divided Republican electorate drifts toward Ben Carson now, according to a poll. Latest New York Times CBS News poll makes Republican Party divisions clear, from their choice of presidential nominee to whether they're willing to see their leaders compromise on legislation. Wow. And China says a U.S. naval destroyer is sailing close to the Chinese-built island that they created. Damages relations. A dangerous and provocative act after an American warship sailed within 12 nautical miles of a Chinese-built artificial island at the center of a regional dispute over maritime territory and sea routes. You see what I mean? We're trying to trigger an anger from all these people. And, Northrop Grumman wins the long-range strike bomber contract, which the coveted contract brings on a new generation of aircraft designed to reach deep into enemy territory. That's kind of cool. But not really. It's the military-industrial complex. I know. Each plane's going to cost $500,000. You're looking at the new stealth bomber that Northrop is proposing. It's kind of like the Flying Wing. $500 million, folks, per plane. You know, you'd think we would have learned our lesson from the inimitable. That's pretty good. Thank you, Beekman. That's a good one. You'd think we would have learned our lesson with the F-35, which no longer even, and the truth is, folks, the F-35 does not even beat the F-16 in two critical jet combat training tests that it ran. Yeah. Kind of strange how we've got a very antiquated mindset in the military-industrial complex. Now, personally, I'd be putting more money into the unmanned aerial vehicle that has missiles. But the problem with that is it's twice as expensive as that vehicle. Northrop Grumman has a $500 million price tag on this vehicle, right? And it's manned. And I can show you the vehicle that Northrop developed for the Navy, which is the X-47B drone, for $1 billion. That little puppy cost $1 billion. Isn't that cute? Well, let's be clear. Okay, thank you. It's a pretty amazing drone. It delivers a payload, but that cost $1 billion. Frankly, I don't think we can afford more than $1 million per drone. I don't believe we should even be running pilots anymore. I think that's a mistake too. I don't feel safe with a new stealth bomber. I think the whole thing is leaning toward wasting money. It's a $500 million, I know. Thank you. It's a cute little plane, but this thing needs to be made for $1 million, not $1 billion. This cost us $1 billion just to get up in the air. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm sure there's some guys that go to Radio Shack every day and pick up little things, you know, or wherever they go to buy their remote controlled drone technology. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, $1 billion. Yes, I believe he quit because I outlasted him. In the game of Survivor, it's outwit, outlast, and outchat. The Survivor game is to outchat somebody here. Well, if he hangs out there, that's sad. You know, whatever. Hey, you know, when people drink, they like to hang out together. You know, I'm not an alcoholic, so I don't really, you know, do that on our show. It's not my gig. Winning, you're an alcoholic. How does that make you feel? Pretty crappy, knowing that you'll never be able to get out of that constant alcoholism? Never being able to stop the drink from entering your body? It must suck to be out of control. The best thing for you to do right now is to rinse your body out with plenty of water and wean yourself off of that booze, buddy. I've met people that have died from cirrhosis. I knew a guy who was 43 years old. They're all alcoholics, really? Well, all of you, maybe I can get a reform thing going here. Pretend like this is AA and, hello, my name is David. I'd like to tell you my story. The first step is admitting you have a problem. Yeah, let's start there. I've never seen you sober, abnormal. No, not once. You come in here drunk every night. What do you have, more pictures? Is this your pastime or something? I mean, whoa, what the heck is that? It's a bird, it's a plane. What was that? I've never seen a picture of a plane like that. Look at this. This is like brand new technology, stealth technology in jet form for commercial travel. Do you have any idea what that plane is, Beekman? Well, let's pretend like this is your first AA meeting, and I'm not an alcoholic, but I do have an addiction to coffee. Hello, my name is David. I am addicted to rich Colombian coffee from Bogota. Hazelnut to be exact. I don't consider it a problem. Oh, right, Dave, that's what they all say. I drink like 5 cups a day. Oh! I read a story that, actually a scientific study that was done, showing that if you drink 5 cups of coffee a day and you're a man, and you drink 5 cups a day for 25 years, you'll have a 51% reduction in prostate cancer. And then if you follow the World Health Organization's new tip and not eat processed meat, just raw meat, you'll be much better off. Welcome to the Mind Control Show. No, we don't do mind control here. This is just for fun. We have fun on our show. Well, they're telling people, everybody's, you know, saying processed meat now. I mean, did it ever occur to you that they're trying to turn all of you into a bunch of vegans so you can eat GMO soybean meat? Yeah, welcome to the future. People are food, right? Pretty soon it'll be soybeans, and then it'll be human DNA like they found in hot dogs last week. They've known for years that human DNA was in hot dogs. It took 5 years for the mainstream media to decide that was a story. I ran this story 5 years ago. If you don't have fun in this show, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, I know. I agree. We've got lots of people who have fun in our show, and many people who will comment, you know, on the news about everything. Like, you know, the answers that Hillary Clinton read off of a script that was pre-screened. were really kind of impressive. What do you think of those answers that they have, that she delivered? Many of you didn't even hear the story because she was basically on auto repeat. The Hillary robot was put into task, a 10-hour interview with Trey Gowdy, who didn't even know which questions to ask. It's like, why?
Her eyes cannot possibly really look like that.
No, but the point of the matter is it's indicative of a robot. You know, we're just giving her a little... It's robotic.
I could even make my eyes look like that if I wanted to.
How was your day?
No, I did not. 9502.
So good overall.
Good. Yeah, actually, it was a really good day.
Did that mechanical drill work okay?
Well, either that or the other person brought in his drill.
Oh, so you brought it back? Okay.
Yeah, but I brought it all back.
Okay, cool.
But I got it done. Yeah.
Good. And the wood worked out okay?
Yeah, I probably need a couple side pieces to...
The same size?
Yeah.
I have one more piece this big.
Maybe just cut it in half.
Yeah.
Because I need to make it away from the wall.
Okay, I'll cut that in half and give it to you. It's cedar. I got a piece of cedar wood for us, Sarah.
Cedar.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, how's everything going here?
What? David is always funny.
Nobody's funnier than me. I'm the funniest person on earth. I've been told that.
I know.
How dare you? Especially when I do my Mr. Anderson routine. Chelsea Clinton is not Bill Clinton's biological father. Daughter. We actually knew this. Yeah. Pete Santilli's picking up an old ball and running with it right now.
Well, if Hillary wanted to have a kid, she knew she had to somehow, get pregnant somehow.
Well, there are a lot of people.
Maybe Clinton is like, since he is a philanderer, as we know.
You think he's impotent?
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was just going to say maybe he always uses protection.
Oh, right. Yeah, the Clinton, a.k.a. the biter, he uses protection, yeah.
The biter.
Yeah. He has women test. Women have actually said he's bitten them.
Winchell, a.k.a. Ronnie.
Okay, we're not going to talk about Bill Clinton and Orgy Island and Donald Trump and Orgy Island until the after show. Then we'll talk about their philanderings with the known pedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
Do you really think chicken's safe to eat? Have you seen that? What is it? Food Inc.
I know that's a scary show. I don't like the fact that animals are being abused.
Any animal safe to eat? Well, actually, I eat animal all the time, so.
Well, now that the World Health Organization said that processed meat is bad, I'm eating less.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No hot dogs.
We won't,
forget the bologna.
We'll never have it.
I hate those things.
I have rarely eaten hot dogs too. I mean, only on occasion. And I made sure I picked through it to see if there was any human DNA, and I didn't eat that.
What I like, the kinds of meat I like are like big slabs of steak.
Yeah.
Or, pot roast. That is unprocessed.
Prime rib.
Yes, prime rib. Those are the kinds of beef I like. I don't even like hamburger, but I'll do it because it's a little less processed than all those things with all those nitrates in it.
485 says, could you please read my smart-ass comments? I haven't seen any comments from you from 485. That was the only comment you made, was that have you read any of my smart-ass comments? Cut and paste your comments if you have a problem. Who did my hair today? I did my hair. Why? Is there a problem?
Yeah, I know.
It's freshly washed.
It's just a little weird. But, yeah, I'm not even a big beef eater. I'm more like fish. I sometimes eat chicken. That's true.
Really? So Courtney Love was found, like in Orgy Island. She actually was a visitor of the blacklist of Jeffrey Epstein. Courtney Love, Alan Dershowitz, Donald Trump, and he's married, and he was going to the Orgy Island. So apparently with Bill Clinton paving the way for all this nefarious sex acts in the White House, a lot of the nastiest, most perverted people are running for office now, except for Ben Carson. I'm beginning to wonder if he's even straight.
There's only one thing.
But that's okay. If he's gay, it's okay. I mean, he should just come out and admit it. Courtney Love is why you choose your spouse well. Unfortunately, we can't tell. Yeah. Kurt Cobain didn't have that opportunity. We have a rice steamer. I can steam fish. What kind of fish?
Pastor, it would be
I don't eat many fish anymore.
Questions.
You know, I was watching I read an ad yesterday on our show. If you haven't seen it, you can watch our pre-recorded show on YouTube. But I read an ad last night about 10 things that China is selling America that's just tainted. And one of those things was tilapia fish.
Tainted?
Tainted. They raised tilapia.
How is it tainted?
They raised tilapia in sewage water.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure that's true, though.
And we did the story last night. If you guys go see our other show, you'll see it.
Because I'm sure, like,
It's
I mean, it's like, what else
water.
are they going to use sewage water for? Disgusting.
I thought tilapia was, like,
Maybe
easy
it
to grow.
helps the sewage water. That's why it's like, that's why they raise it. They can raise it in anything. Do not eat tilapia fish, Beekman says.
I will not eat tilapia fish. And I'm trying to... I'm purchasing mostly Atlantic food now. I'm trying to get Atlantic clam chowder and... Okay, so this is the actual report from the United States Senate on weather modification. Oh, okay. You found it? Good. Scissor Fight 1978 document on weather modification. Many people were involved, like Daniel Inouye of Hawaii. Some major senators approved this. Yep. So a lot of people who say, oh, chemtrails don't exist, blah, blah, blah. We have an actual document from Scissor Fight there, from the archives, where the government's authorizing them. They've been letting people dump stuff in the air for a long, long time. And some of us are finally catching on and realizing this is really bad. We shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, there's the article. You found it. Fox News, the sex slave ring of Jeffrey Epstein. Good for you. Yeah, you found that story. I'll talk about that at the 8 o'clock hour. I'll keep all that for later. All right, so we've got basic information coming in through Northrop. Just got the award-winning order for the stealth bomber. They are going to be producing these at a cost of $500 million a piece. There they are, right there on the screen.
Oh, how
That's
much?
the stealth bomber. It's $500 million, $500 million per plane.
Wow, that's kind of expensive.
You know, that was the design that Jacques Fresco came up with, the flying wing. And he was fired for actually coming up with that design. Shows you how far Northrop
brought him back.
Well, they didn't bring him back. They brought the idea back.
No,
they own the idea.
They brought it back.
Yeah, they brought it back.
Look up what? I don't know.
You're unappealing? Well, speak for yourself. You know, no one ever could figure out anything about space. It's a mystery. The infinite universe. It's a never-ending mystery. It freaks people out when they realize the dimension of infinity. I talk to people a lot. We actually entertained the idea last night of the flat Earth, just to give people some time to play videos. And of course, I don't believe the flat Earth theories. I don't even believe in aliens. But I can tell you that the infinite universe probably has some life form out there, somewhere. And that's proven mathematically by the Drake equation. But the idea that somehow we're in a dome, like they're believing, I mean, it's the enclosed Earth concept. It's just absurd. I believe that infinity exists because to me, it gives me solace to know that there is no limit to certain things. There is no edge of any universe. It goes on and on and on. And many people can't understand the concept of infinity. And I don't blame you if you're struggling with it. But when you ask a person, well, what's beyond the edge of the universe, they can't answer it. Nothing. It's infinite. Am I yelling? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll keep my voice down.
That's good. I'll keep my voice up. That way everyone will know that I am a person that can raise my voice if needed.
Excuse me, but remember when George W. Bush went to the UN meetings? He'd actually raise his hand and say, can I go to the bathroom? I mean, seriously. He'd sit there. He would sit there and raise his hand at the UN meetings and say, I'd like to go to the bathroom. I mean, the President of the United States. And then Barack Obama bends down and kissed the ring finger of King Abdullah, which actually is an insult. You don't do that with a world leader. Only slaves do that. Anyway, nobody briefed him on it.
Depends on how tired I am, Mr. Dino.
I will step out. I'll be right back. Thank you. Excuse me.
I usually say, I don't know, I have this catchphrase that's like, excuse me? I think that's what it is. Oh no, I'm sorry. Like, you're not doing the right thing if I say, I'm sorry. You're not logged in here to badmouth, for the record. I got your record. Good job. Let's log in to say positive things. You're so awesome because you were able to log into the show tonight. You're awesome because you're able to type in the room. You're awesome because you're able to operate a computer. Nice job. Alright, the topic of discussion. Have you guys heard of Vex IQ? Robots? Well, actually, it's not Thursday, so I can't talk about that. What's tonight? Truth Tuesday. The truth is, I miss you. Alright. It was a little difficult, Mr. Dino. Yes, it was quite challenging, but the thing is, just think of it that it is practice for when you have your own classroom. Mr. Dino, I didn't know you were going to have a class. I didn't know you were becoming a teacher. I think you should leave the out. GTFO. I was born this way, 454. I have good genes. My mom was pretty, so there you go. I don't really want you to do that. I don't really care, America person. No, it's called Vex IQ. VEX IQ. Here, you want me to show you? That I haven't done any research on it, so might as well do it with you. Thank you very much, 454. But you know, I'm totally with David. Always. What's BB mean? 4300. I don't diet. Notice all the gray? So, it's just, I'm letting it go natural for now. Alright. VexRobotics.com/VexIQ. Here it is. STEM Education Revolution. Add. This is Vex IQ. Simple, flexible, powerful. New to robotics, Vex IQ is a robotics platform designed to transform STEM learning for young students and their teachers. Students can jump right in and snap robots together using this intuitive, toolless system. Educators can utilize free Vex IQ curriculum to help teach valuable lessons and skills needed in today's changing world. What? Oh, well, then you could just go somewhere else. America is. Well, this is a political party, it's true. I guess I could talk about politics. Alright, let's talk about what this country needs. Yeah, it is kind of like a toy being marketed through education system. That's true. Oh, not gonna happen, Mr. Deneau. The guy explained government absolutely perfectly with monkeys. Federalistpaper.org. Coming back. Why do I have this? I'm gonna close out of that one. I'll just do that. That's okay. If the election comes down to, well, I'm going to vote for David, Anarchy Inc. That's who I'm going to vote for. I'll just write his name in if I have to. But I will be voting for David. Alright. We're not married. I don't plan on getting married right now. Or even in the near future, per se. I just don't see the purpose of it. I don't think that the government should be involved in people's personal relationships. Yes. Alright, what is this a video of, Dupster? I was just gonna check the latest in the news. Yeah, I tend to agree with you, V for Vendetta. No, this is about aliens. I wonder if David wants to talk about that tonight. Unfortunately, it's actually a legal, legal issue now, Mr. Deneau. I wish it weren't, but right now it is. Oh, well, yeah, no, I'm completely loyal to David. Forever, Anarchy. So I'm not going to get behind someone else. I think that David could have a chance of winning if we all got behind him and pushed him. That's what it's all about. I mean, we really need to, if we want change in this country, we have to go out and make the change, be the change. That's what we have to do. There's a lot of, so there's a video of a white police officer throwing a black high school girl to the floor of a classroom. So everybody's talking about whether black students are disproportionately punished. And the House Republicans in the last-ditch effort are moving to impeach IRS Commissioner, saying he violated the public trust and lied to Congress as it investigated the treatment of conservative groups. Oh, and my bug out bag, I don't know, David will tell you. It's got some meat, it's got some corn, it's got things that are easy to eat. It's got a little jerky, it's got, I think it has some Band-Aids. Yep, it's true, Abnormal. I am exactly like that Little House on the Prairie lady that all men wish they had. It's true. So true. China has denounced what it called a dangerous and provocative act Tuesday after an American warship sailed within 12 nautical miles of a Chinese-built artificial island at the center of a regional dispute. That's good. Yeah, students in one California school district are guaranteed C's for doing nothing. Do they even have to show up? In a public school district about 15 miles north of San Francisco have found a new and exciting ways to coddle kids, according to Daily Caller. They'll be able to earn passing grades with scores of just 20%. Wow. It's called the Equal Interval Scale. Wow. Deviates from the A through F scale by distributing grades in 20% increments from 0 to 50 to 100 and by only giving grades of F for students with scores below 20%. Oh, so anyone who receives a score of 80 will be awarded an A minus, and any grade from 80 to 100 would be either an A or an A minus. Wow. A district-wide rule forces teachers to give every student a score of 50%, even if they don't complete any homework or make an effort to mark down an answer on a test or quiz. Wow. Some people hate the new system. Some districts are going with forgetting an A through C or A through F system completely and going with what's called a standards-based report card. And not any more than any other student, I would say, be for sometimes chatty. There's students that are a lot more talkative than others. You're going to start substituting before student teaching. What district do you live in that they allow an associate degree to substitute? Because here you usually have to have a bachelor's degree to substitute, and that's only then you have to get an emergency certificate in order to substitute, and not all districts accept that. They only accept that if they're very desperate. So anyway, different states are different though. Did you get my answer, V for Vendetta? Hi, Peter. Sometimes more talkative, but not, I don't know. It's not that much, not that big of a deal. Well, and do you know what, V for Vendetta, I like instead of a straight percentage score is actually going with the idea of, can you master certain material? That's what like the standards-based grading is. So you go and look at the Common Core standards and say, did this student master that? Can they do that particular thing? And I personally think it should be like, once they're able to master that, they get that grade. But if they can't master it, it's like, hey, they're working on mastering it. I don't like the A through F grading at all. Actually, I think I'm gonna go do something about that.
You are.
No,
go for it.
Not really, but
you can ask around, see if anyone wants to switch. Hey, I don't personally think that the core curriculum is all that great, personally, but I'm not a teacher, so I tend to believe that any type of federal mandates on education violates the 10th Amendment. Personally,
yeah,
I would rather shrink the size of the Department of Education, cut back on the number of employees at the Department of Education, and same with the administrators in every single area. I think we should reduce the administrative staff and help the teachers. and give the teachers as much support as we can possibly give them. We don't need a plan where teachers are eliminated because testing scores of the kids drop below a standard. That's a mistake. I believe that the teaching, the good aspects of the core curriculum are not even being flaunted by the Democrats. When you look at the idea of standardization of testing, for instance, where we'd save all the state's money by producing one standard test that assesses students at a particular level, that would make more sense. Cutting costs should be a priority. Books should not be a priority, getting new books every 10 years. We should focus more on online curriculum. And most of all, kits on learning how to do things like solar installations, robotics, programming, code. All that can be online, and some physical kits where kids can play with windmills and solar panels and hook up like Legos and things. That's the way education should move, and it shouldn't be a federal mandate. It, again, should go to the state's position. Thank you, Mr. Deneau. Yeah, so, you know, a lot of issues are, we can go issue by issue on many different levels. Somebody said that Ben Carson has a great way to solve Social Security. I haven't heard his method. I haven't checked up on it, but we have a plan for helping Social Security by expanding the payroll tax with no limits, no caps on the payroll tax at all. So companies or people that make $500,000 would pay on that $500,000. Right now they're getting caps of $135,000, and then they stop paying payroll tax. That's a simple fix that will be very helpful for the Social Security Trust Fund long term. And I don't believe the Republicans' method of extending retirement age to 70 is a good idea. I think it's a mistake. Initially I thought it was okay, but then I thought how unfair it is for somebody waiting to retire at 62 and then fitting in that little donut hole where they keep getting older and the limit keeps getting longer. Somebody's going to get screwed. Somebody's going to have to retire at 70 if we extend the retirement age to 70. So I say 62 is fine to start with the retirement checks. Leave it as that. Don't change it. People want to retire earlier anyway. Well, I'm just, you know, Sarah wants to retire at what, 62? When would you, what would be a good, when you feel it's like, when you get tired of doing what you're doing, yeah.
When I get tired of doing what I'm doing, yeah, that's true.
That's a good time to retire. That's when I retired.
I like what I'm doing.
Good. You've got to like your jobs. That's really important.
Okay,
there is no fun. You're right. It's evaporated. How is it possible that half the working force is making less than $30,000 a year? Very easy, Beekman. You know, I live that life. I don't believe in spending a lot of money. Hey, thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Sarah will give me a break later. Thank you for that break. That was good. I don't believe that. I personally don't believe that anybody living beyond $30,000 a year really has real expenses. I really think, I mean, yeah, you're paying for your college education for your kids. I know one family that's making $250,000. They say that we don't have any money. 2 kids are going to Harvard. Right, it's just imaginary play money anyway. They print it up out of thin air, so yeah, there never was a fund. It's just an imaginary fund. Well, I don't like the idea that everybody should get some Social Security. If you haven't paid into the fund, you shouldn't get it. If you paid into it as part of your job requirement and you still have a large pension plan, I really don't know. I don't know if that kind of entitlement gives you the chance to just draw from it. Certain people have really good pension plans, and they call this double dipping and triple dipping when people get older. And those people, believe me, are the only reason why our economy is rolling along right now. The pensioners. They're helping support microeconomies in every area, including their own family. But as time goes on, I mean, there's not going to be that many people with a chance to get 2 or 3 pensions, but anybody with a pension probably shouldn't get Social Security, I don't think. And only 16% of all businesses are giving out pensions now. Everyone's all handing out 401ks, and those can be, you know, completely at risk in the market. All right, so controversial cybersecurity bill passed with resounding Senate support. I don't know what's going on with this bill. I have yet to read it, so let's get to the nitty-gritty about this. Yeah. The Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act cleared the U.S. Senate floor on Tuesday. Information Sharing Act, 74-21 vote. Moving the controversial bill, critics contend will grant the government unfettered access to private data. One step closer to the president's desk. Wow. Big brother. They're implementing these strategies while the two parties are real active. Despite protests from privacy advocates and tech industry heavyweights like Apple and Yahoo, CISA passed with overwhelming support from senators who argue that the draft bill will bolster national security. Under the auspices of CISA, private companies would be allowed to share sensitive customer data relating to cyber threats with government agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security and the NSA, without risk of legal retaliation. You know, right now they've got our rights down to, like, many of us don't realize this, but with the passing of NDAA, I mean, they could say that every one of us is an enemy combatant if they chose to say that all the citizens are enemy combatants in a state of martial law. It has drifted into the realm of absurdity, what's happened. They're using unbelievable, reckless lack of restraint in passing law after law that erode our rights. And it's disgusting. I'm a big, strong individualist. I grew up with the sense that you can be anything you want to be in this life. I really believed that as a child. I was under the illusion that if you work really hard and get great grades, that you could become a success and get a scholarship and go to college. Boy, was I wrong. I didn't realize that affirmative action would trump my card. Being a white American, a Caucasian, I wasn't given all the benefits of people who are minority status in getting a college education. And the truth is, we don't give a college educations out in America, but you can get them in about 7 or 8 states. I know, but the bottom line is it gives people a chance. I think college tends to launch people in a career. I don't know about you, but I would have preferred a 4-year education provided to me by the state. And I probably should have taken out loans back when I knew one guy who took out loans and bought gold back when gold was $300 an ounce and sold it at $800 an ounce, and he bought himself a Camaro. I thought that was pretty funny. But bottom line is, an education should be, at least a 2-year education should be a right in this country, I believe. I think now colleges are scamming the students. And I think, yeah, you're right. They are a scam. It's a scam now. Totally. I'm glad in a way I chose not to finish my 4-year education because, frankly, I see people absolutely in misery everywhere you turn in this world. You see people, suffering from melancholy, depression. There's Bill Murray, he can't be that happy. There's something wrong. They're not happy in their life. They feel a little bit depressed. It's just this general malaise. Debt is a scam, and they put young people in debt abnormal. You're right. $2,000 goes out in credit to every single high school graduate in America. It connects you to the credit system, which then connects you to the system of needing an education to get a good job to pay for your bills so that you can buy more things. It creates that hamster wheel, that loop. And then it creates the working middle class. Many of you are working, many of you are not. America, I don't want to pass judgment on Americans who choose to not work. I still need your vote. But I can tell you that my plan for America doesn't give you guys a free ride, except the bare minimum. We have a thing called Baseline Plus, where we give people the baseline. And if they want to go from there, they have to work for the plus. The baseline is basically a warm roof over your head. Baseline. And food at the food bank. Baseline. Low cost electricity. Maybe an internet connection with at least 56.6K. Something, basic. I just believe we have to start moving in that direction. Now, I don't mind having to fund that with money coming from donations. Philanthropists could start funding some of the tent cities that we want to construct. I don't want to tax you. Your tax earned income should not go to paying for homeless people. Whereas a socialist would want you to finance the entire operation and expect you and tax you more. I'm not a socialist, and I would prefer to just use the benefit of a business-like government operating on a plan we called hybrid capitalism, which is a brand new plan that we created to save the nation economically from the pinch of socialism. Because we're really in a socialist situation. We've got subsidized industries all over the place. We've got a nation that is literally financing its own demise. And the bigger the government, the more it sucks, and the bigger it gets. So that we have to break the chain of big government. We need to get fiscally conservative. Donald Trump is the last person you would call a fiscal conservative. He's actually snubbing the Tea Party people, and I'm open to Tea Party people because I'm a fiscal conservative, but I'm also a social liberal, but fully aware that every single thing coming out of my mouth costs money. That's the difference between me and a Democrat. I was a Democrat for a long time. I was a blue dog Democrat, but I got to tell you, we have got to cut our purse strings big time across the board at the federal level. That means jobs are going to have to be sliced. People will no longer be making $150,000 plus a year plus benefits. Government jobs right now are absolutely secure for so many people. They go, oh yeah, I've got a government job, they'll never fire me. And I hear them say that all the time. They're actually gloating in their government job. It's so funny. And I will literally take down up to 50% of the U.S. big paying jobs at the government level and open up a whole lot more small paying jobs. $36,000 a year. We are literally funding a lack of growth because a lot of those people are sitting on 401ks. They aren't using the money in the economy like you would. If you got $36,000 a year, you'd probably use it for what you need. You'd be spending it. A lot of these people are like socking it away, and the federal money literally going into our federal budget to operate the country is kind of getting stoked away in their own private bank accounts, their Cayman Island accounts. I don't like that. You know, if you want to call people socialist, that's fine. I don't really care. I would help a person who's homeless, but I don't think many of you socialists understand that the back of socialism is on the back of the working man. It's not designed to solve its own problems. Socialism is a one-way pathway. Your tax dollar is going into the bureaucracy, which sucks it up as itself. Administrative costs are huge. And then the little guys that you say you're going to help get mere pittance. If we don't get a system that runs like a business, and that's what hybrid capitalism is all about, we get the government to get a return on investment. We don't mind the government can compete at any time in any industry as long as it doesn't have unfair advantage. Social, yeah, not socialist. Just social programs that are beneficial for average people. We talk about having a rooftop solar system. We have ideas where we want to create windmills on top of roofs, kinetic windmills that just sit there and face the prevailing winds and then power up your house along with your solar panels. I mean, we have a solar rooftop program which will create jobs. We anticipate making solar rooftop panel systems for as low as $1 a watt and having them roll out, and people will be able to install them and get roughly an installation job will get you $2,000. If you have a 4 or 5 man team, you'll be able to get this done in about a day, maybe 2. $2,000 for 2 days worth of work for 5 guys is pretty good money. That's the plan, and these things will pay for themselves with all the energy they produce over time. This also takes us away from our leverage on all the oil companies and coal companies, but oil and coal is very important. I'm not to say that oil and coal isn't important, because it is. It's the backbone of our nation's electric grid. It really is. So we're not turning a blind eye to the coal industry. They employ 760,000 workers. We need to keep those people working, but we need to generate clean coal technology. We can't continue with this reckless abuse of the environment. It's killing our environment and ultimately destroying the world that we live in for children of our children. Well, Mr. Deneau, you became a very hands-on and extremely needy tonight. So, I don't know what happened to you. I do know guest chat's off. Yeah, I'm not really sure what his problem was. I mean, I agree with him in many ways. I just don't like the he says a lot of government jobs, people making $150,000 a year, you could train a baboon to do their job. LOL. Yeah, exactly. Bad hair day. What do you mean? Why am I? People are saying I have a bad hair day. How is this bad hair? Bad haircut? I don't know. I'm getting compliments. Well, not me. Oh, him. Yeah, possibly. But you know, the deal is, thank you. Many people want to have a house like this. I just want to have a house like this, like I have right now. And I want to be able to, you know, make it available for people like you. I don't have a vertical windmill system on my my house. I don't have a horizontal windmill system in my house. I don't even have solar panels on my house. But I do have a roof over my head, and I feel bad for people that don't. That makes me social, not a socialist. Okay, inside the Pentagon budget. Effort to build a killer robot. Oh, interesting. So we're looking more at AI and what they're doing. We discovered yesterday that AI for the government is turned into the Jade 2.0 project. The Jade Helm was all about implementing an AI operative decision. And it's listening to me right now. The program is designed to listen to all social networks simultaneously. So it's probably hearing what I'm saying about it every time I recant its name. Inside the Pentagon's effort to build a killer robot, the Defense Department, DARPA, is working to create an artificial brain that will, but what will it mean for humanity if it succeeds? Wow. You know, Bill Gates is concerned. Elon Musk is spending $18 million to work on counter AI technology that'll stop AI from becoming too powerful. Roboticists define artificial brains as man-made machines designed to be as intelligent, self-aware, and creative as humans. No such machine yet exists, but Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, scientists like Dr. Kenyon believe that even the private I am in need of defragmentation. I am hereby closing sector 457 of my 17th hard drive. Just kidding. But no, seriously, you can imagine how messed up that is. AI taking over. We wouldn't allow that to happen. No. We want to build safeguards to stop that. All right. Okay, so will we do chat? Let's do guest chat on. Okay, here we go. We're going to be brave. Someone turned it off. Oh my God, a huge crack in the earth opens up in the foothills of the Bighorn Mountains. Whoa, let's take a look at this. Okay. Sounds good. Here's a huge crack in the earth opening up. Oh my gosh. It's a gaper. Hello, guests. Hey, Shrek. Uh-oh, the earth is pulling a gaper, everybody. Whoa. Massive, massive cavern. Crack, crack, fissure, fissure. Split, split. What's next? San Onofre? The Cascadian subduction zone? The Strait of Juan de Fuca subduction zone? That could take me out. I'd like to go out in a little buzz. It'd be kind of nice to have your own little stealth striker force, wouldn't it? Honey, I'm going to take a trip in the stealth striker jet in the back. You know, on Thursday night, we actually feature a really cool car. Let me show it to you real quick. It's Terrafugio, the amazing new technology, the TFX. let me just give you a little intro on it, just to get a heads up as to what it looks like. This would be amazing. The future of transportation. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It pulls out of the driveway there, and you literally get on the road, and it's just like driving along, you know. This is entirely possible within our lifetime, but bear in mind, it may get a lot weirder than that. What the hell? I know. A four-seated hybrid with wings. I just want to make you a nice house. These people want to put you in a car that'll fly. Computer controlled. Yeah. Redneck hillbilly car. Just to tell you where you want to go. And off you go. No, yeah, it's a nice cartoon. It really doesn't exist. It's just a rocket car. Rocket car, burning through your garden, suburbia. Twin electric motoprops. Those open turbine engines, by the way, are really silent. I know I would choose an open turbine like that if I had one. A megawatt of power lifts you right in the air. Yeah. So can the future get any sooner? I mean, how can any of you be depressed? I mean, you're living in the most unusual time. What was a Chinese proverb? May you live in strange times. Confucius say, we are living in strange times. And there's a picture of the Great Gaper, huh? Okay. I triggered your mind a little bit, Beekman. You went searching for a gaping picture in your Gaper library? Wow. That's kind of wild, man. Okay. Well, I'm going to put this little house here because it's all about what we talk about in our book, Hybrid Capitalism. It's building houses that are already up and running, but fixing them up, getting them up, and, you know, basically putting a new face on every old house. Making sure we make the maximum use of what we have. That's one of the keys to building our economy. A lot of these people in government right now have no idea how to conserve or save. I can tell they're all spendthrifts with no idea. Oh yeah, he does, Bowie. Yeah, he bans a lot of people. I was very when I came into this show on Juan, I was very seasoned in broadcasting. I'd done 4 years already on Blog TV, and when we first started, it was one of the most horrific environments. But the Blog TV system worked great. But man, people were spamming us. We had so many different, you know, situations where we had to knock, ban, purge. It was just amazing that we got through the first 4 years. And then we went to Vaughn, and their controls are actually better. I like the things he's put in place. I would, of course, love interactive video chat with other co-hosting with other people on Vaughn. That's kind of the next dimension for any of these chat shows. But you notice that the networks that are out there tend to have a lot of glitches because of all the different code that they have to write for various platforms and browsers. So, you know, a lot of these things just don't make any sense because of the fact that when people get involved and they see something good and then they say, wow, it's not working anymore, and then they get very disinterested. No, I actually believe Blog TV was better. But the technology was purchased by the YouNow network. And it was really a sad thing what they did with it. I don't know why the guy gave him $5 million except to get rid of Blog TV. I mean, he acquired some of the best software in the world, and he's never used it. He's sitting on the patent on the software, and it uses Flash, and it's one of the most utilized Flash tools out there with all different aspects from co-hosting to interactive chat. You remember the chat rooms that we had at Blog TV. Some of you are, you know, from that era. It was down for a lot of people, 289. Yeah, Scissor Fight took him 1 hour to get in. Yeah, and I couldn't believe that they sold out for $5 million at a time when, you know, just a year later, WhatsApp sold for $19 billion. I mean, how can anyone sell an interactive, rich internet platform for $5 million? It made no sense to me. If I was a millionaire, I would offer the guy $5 million just to buy the patents to Blog TV and run the show. But I'm not, and I don't want to invest money in something like what I'm doing, because obviously I'm building this entire show on the free internet. If I didn't have the free internet, we wouldn't be talking right now. That's the way it is. And in a few short years, with the passing of the controversial cybersecurity law, CISA, and this ridiculous Trans-Pacific Partnership, they're going to be eliminating a lot of freedom on the internet. We may be in the golden years of the free internet, truly. I kind of started out as I'm in the golden years of the internet broadcasting, but we're kind of in the golden twilight years of the free internet. I should invest 4 or 5K? What? In what? I'm not off my game. I'm always on my game. My game is always on. Just like this incredible vehicle in your mind can fly. Isn't that amazing? The Penguin. Be good for the Penguin on Batman. Yeah, I believe that we'll live to see the day that happens. Even if it happens in your mind. Yeah, you can invest in each other by voting for me. Yeah, absolutely. It's not just about voting for me as the president, though. This is beyond voting for president at this point. This is actually this is about talking about a third party. If I can hand you guys anything, it'll be a third party. It would be great if I can fix the country, but if I can give you guys a third party, that would be better. Initially, fixing the country is something that's going to, it's an overwhelming task that we all have to just, start thinking about. Because we're not able to think clearly as a result of a variety of factors. I don't want to name exactly which one's affecting you, but many of us are under the impression that we are. That's just not true. Please don't write falsehoods in the show. Yeah, many people are under the impression that we're somehow going to let the other guys fix it, even though they never do. You said it won't be long to the geo-block kicks in and you'll lose viewers from different countries. Yeah, I believe it. Thanks, Bowie. What do you know about that, Bowie? The geo-block. Yeah, this is the first time I've heard about the geo-block. No, I don't believe that everybody in the world is a shill and I'm the only man on the planet that knows the truth. I'm one of about 500 people on the planet that know the truth. The problem is the other 500 are all rich and don't care about you. Sorry, hate to blow your bubble. They were told the truth. I had to learn it the hard way. I had to go down the rabbit hole. Yeah. I'm not rich either, and you found the truth from me. There you go. So now you're one of 500 people beyond the 500. Actually, we know now that at least 1,000 people know the truth because of our show. Thank you. I want to actively help provide you guys things that'll affect your life too. You can call it delusions of grandeur. I just want to be president to save the country. You can call it whatever you want. I mean, if name calling gets you off, by all means, but I think that's kind of sad that you're getting a reverse pleasure from making people feel bad. CISA data sharing bill passes Senate with no privacy protections. That's correct. That's because you don't have a third party. I'm trying to build what I believe is the only tool needed to stop this two-party. It's a scam. They're controlling everything. Basically, they divide the country. They pretend like they disagree on certain key issues. That creates stagnation in our economy and politics. And then they keep us all at bay, calling each other names. Oh, you're a Democrat. Oh, you're a Republican. And then all of a sudden they capture the White House again, and then they control everything that's going on. The internal network of the Treasury, the Pentagon, and the Defense Departments, respectively, is a very, very dark corridor. And nobody breaks in, not even an outsider. If I were to become president, I'd be a complete outsider. Even as president, I'd be an outsider to that cadre of people. The people that confirm contracts like that. So as a president, I have to become, I have to purposely get into every discussion I can. I have to break into the network. I have to tap into the network in order to, in any way, change it. But again, I have to recognize my place. As president, I can only do so much. I cannot dissolve the CIA. I can't cut their funding. But I can look at their funding. And there's a way to do that at the Exchange Stabilization Fund. The only area of the Treasury that only the president can look into. No one in the country can look at the Exchange Stabilization Fund except for the Treasury itself, the Inner Core, and the president. No, I just have a good way of keeping people who are insanely jealous of me from, entering the chat, who like to criticize me. So, I'm not going to be buying many new suits. Maybe one or two or three. A friend of mine bought a couple of Armanis, and he paid like $2,000 a piece for these things. And I thought, I'm sure I can find them online for $195. So I'm going to be very careful with money. The White House is going to be running as a machine, much like a well-tuned machine. We want to, the beer that Barack Obama sells at the White House? Yeah, it's actually, he doesn't sell it at all. Yeah, he doesn't make any money on it at all. And we pay for the ingredients. I would be making beer to sell, not to drink. I don't drink beer. Yeah, I was trying to, was that Aramaic? It looked like Aramaic to me. I was trying to reach back into my knowledge of hieroglyphics, and it was not coming up. Yeah, UCLA's got some issues. What can I say? It was Korean, really? Well, we're scanning it right now. Something about Taekwondo practice. They're promoting a Taekwondo chapter. Huh, interesting. It doesn't really make much sense. Korean was detected, but it's probably North Korean. But we had to turn guest chat off. Sorry, we couldn't have your input. Well, bottom line, I have to ban people that demoralize myself or my supporters. Okay, something came in. Trump says he's bringing Ford back to America. Ford, dude, we announced this back in 2011, right? Ford refutes Donald Trump's claim on the Mexico plant. Interesting. Donald Trump is taking credit for stopping Ford from moving an auto plant to Mexico. But the car giant on Monday refuted Trump's claim and said it's proceeding with its plans. The presidential candidate said in tweets on Sunday that his constant criticism of Ford on the campaign trail had pushed the company to halt plans for a $2.5 billion factory in Mexico and stay in Ohio. This is how Trump frames everything. He's got crowds around him that he pays people to go to gatherings so he can talk about the crowds around him. Now he's slipped below Ben Carson and the Republican header. The Republicans are dissolving, as you know. Their party is slowly eating itself up and imploding. The heavy hitter, Donald Trump, basically lost the Latina vote, and they're trying to now swing the other way. The pendulum swings the other way, and now they're trying to embrace the minority vote to hope to get the Latino vote back. So Ben Carson's becoming a leader, and they're desperate for a win. So they're thinking another black president. And a lot of Democrats are looking at the words and the attitude of Hillary Clinton and getting a little frightened that we've got a real seriously messed up person on our hands. She's got some issues. There's Now, it's kind of a personal thing, but she's got this little problem called robotic brain. People don't realize, but the Hillary robot, the H robot, has been deployed. And being it's Truth Tuesday, I would be remiss in losing some of my viewers' chance to take a look at this article in Vanity Fair that I've been playing every night. And I don't want to get overly redundant, but she has said, and categorically, that I'm going to pull hybrid capitalism down too. She has said that she does not, I'm really not even a human being, she says. So many people are kind of shocked by the revelation that she's not really a human being. If you are one of those people that want to research this, she does not sweat. She doesn't have any sweat glands, apparently. Thank you, Ace Dace. Apparently she doesn't have any, and click that link, folks, Vanity Fair, if you want to read the whole article. It's pretty interesting. She claims that she's not even really a human being when asked why she doesn't have sweat glands. And it's very telling. Well, let's be clear. I am not a robot. Yeah, and the kind of words she says in the article imply that she's a robot. And what's really interesting, whereas I pretend to be a robot sometimes on my show, just to play with, the character, being I was a voiceover artist for years, she doesn't ever say that she's not a robot. She doesn't say she's joking in the article. She just says flat out, you can't tell anybody about this, but you have to cut this. You can't tell anybody this. I don't want anyone to know this. This has been a secret until here we are in Davenport, Iowa, and I'm just spilling my electronic guts to you. It's like, wow. Anyway, not to belabor the issue, yeah, she said she's a robot. So we're not sure what she is. And that's the part where the Democrats are a little confused. I was a Democrat for 30 years. And I assure you, I'm concerned about the same things you guys are concerned about, but I didn't want to force Obamacare on anybody. I thought that was a ridiculous plan. It didn't make sense. I wanted a public option. And I'll deliver a national opt-in plan if you want to pay into the system, $60 a month per person. If you don't, that's okay. Yeah, I need to get in the debates, but I need 5% of the popular votes in a state to do this. So this movement is still kind of gyrating and growing in numbers. But if you want to get me on the ballot in your state, you can certainly go to my website, AmericasThirdParty.com, and check your state and call the Secretary of State. Her number is right there on your state. And ask her for a petition to get a president on the ballot. Hey, I think Vanity Fair has been a very credible source of information for a long, long time. I have great respect for that magazine, actually. I do take questions on the stream, yeah. Go ahead, shave me. Hey, dude, I agree. I think Obamacare is bad, too, yeah. Oh, you're telling all your friends about it. Great. Excellent. Thank you. So, the possibility of a cybernetic organism in the form of Hillary Clinton is not too far-fetched, folks. It's more likely that's possible as opposed to this nonsensical theory of reptilians. Now, I don't believe in aliens. I don't have any belief that aliens are even here on this planet. But many of you do. They don't have any young candidates, Hawkster. Yeah, they've got a bunch of old cronies that have basically sucked up to their system up to this point. Yeah, I don't necessarily believe in aliens, but I will tell you this. I do support the Full Disclosure Project. If and when I'm president, I will have to see an alien in person to verify that they exist. Really. Oh, there's Rob Martin. Wow, he looks a lot like me. That's pretty good. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thank you. Well, I don't know if she's a robot. That's the point, Juan. If you click on this Vanity Fair article, she says she's a robot. And I want everyone to know that this is a person who is willing to say some pretty weird stuff. Now, America's Third Party's website is, we've got a plan for the country. We've got pro-legalization campaign. We have a poster. You can click on this poster, Join the Voter Revolt, and you can get that poster, copy it to your hard drive, and email it to OfficeMax. And you can have a poster for as low as $1 or $2 a piece. You can just have it printed up on cardstock in color. And if you want to tell your friends, we are all about free speech, gun rights, privacy, and preserving the Constitution. But we also embrace technologies and cool new ideas for saving the country. We also have a bumper sticker for $4 right here. If you click that button, you can order a bumper sticker. And you can go to your state along the side or the drop-down menu, one or the other, and click on your state. And in some cases, we have a direct button to download a petition to get me on the ballot. In other cases, you have to call the Secretary of State to get her to send you one. And just say, I want a petition to get a president on the ballot. Hello, David Nation. Well, we haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Spaz Nation, it's so disgusting for you to say that every time you come into the show. You're obviously trolling me on my hair. I like my hair. Thank you. I enjoy, a nice head of hair. Feels good. I like it short, though. Yeah, you are. You're trolling every night you come in here. It's sad. Well, it's varies state by state, Juan. But you know something? If you guys want a robot Hillary for president, you can just sit back and let a robot dictate your future. Well, you can not trust electronic voting machines, but do we have any other shot other than, the paper trail for some states is accurate. Hey, if we don't try to get me on the ballot and to win a popular vote, we're going to sit back and watch Hillary the robot take over our future. I have fixed my hair. It looks good. I don't understand what you guys don't like about my hair. I think it's great. Are you talking about this section right here? Whew. Yeah, only a mother can love. This was courtesy of either, I think it was a Scissor Fight link, or was this a Beekman link? I'm not sure. Hey, let's get some music going here. And stop being so superficial and talking about hair. There's nothing wrong with my hair. What do you mean my hair hasn't grown in 7 years? I like to keep it short. It's that simple. It's easier to shampoo. You're entering the 21st century. Okay, so let's get into the White House and talk about issues facing the country, shall we? Does anybody have anything on their mind? It's not a wig, it's my hair. You can see my follicles. You can see every little stitch of my hair. My God. Trump has better hair than me. I have a Trump wig I'm putting on for Halloween. Coming up October 31st, I'm doing the Trump Halloween video. Yeah. I know you're excited. All you Obama-tards are going to really dig the making fun of Donald Trump. I know. But for a lot of you, it'll be a revelation to know that my hair is real. It's going to wake you up. We've got a couple pictures of, candid pictures of me with Sarah. This was a preview of our Halloween hair. That's the look, but I've got to swoop the hair over my eyes a little bit, make a bigger swoop. But that's what I'll be looking like on Halloween. So for all of you who are fixated on my hair, who have a hair fetish or something, you can go ahead and, you know, dance your heart away. This is our future as Muslims march through the city. That's right. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Kind of absurd that Angela Merkel is giving all these Muslims sanctuary in Germany. Whistle while you work. I remind you of Chef Ramsay, really. He doesn't have a head of hair as good as mine, I assure you. Get down, come on. Yeah, unlike Barack Obama, I actually have plans to fix the country. He doesn't. We've got a solution to practically everything on our website. When you look at the ideas that we have, number one, a college education, like I said, should be a given. Yeah. Look at this. You can get a free college education in Chile, Brazil, Germany, Finland, France, Norway, Slovenia, Sweden. In the U.S., it's $75 grand for a 4-year education at a community college. You want to go to a 4-year education at an Ivy League school? Forget it. You're looking at $250,000 now. Dude, can you tell me one thing? Like, what did you do in your life that you're most proud of? Like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is I was one of the guys that brought organic food to all of your grocers. Food that's grown without pesticides or any fertilizers that are chemical in nature. I was one of the first marketing guys in America to promote organic food. I'm proud of that. And you guys are eating better because big, huge companies now are preferring organic and trying to avoid chemical fertilizers. So in that way, we're trying to help. But we got a long way to go because agribusiness is sucking us dry and turning our nation into a wasteland. But you are the resource. I mean, this is ridiculous. You should have at least a 2-year education covered by the government, you know, so you get started in your life. The Fed debt is 3 times that, yeah. Well, you know, we don't even know what the Fed debt is, Hockster. It's kind of sad, but the Fed debt is under wraps. It's a private corporation, the Fed is, so they don't have to actually answer it anyway. It's absurd we allowed them to take over our... Well, when Bernie says free, he means you're paying for it. I don't do that. The education plan I have in mind is a double Pell Grant plan that links and locks in on locked tuition rates that are guaranteed. And any state organization like a college or a university that wants to cash those Pell Grants has to actually sign a contract saying they're not going to raise tuition. And it has to meet this tuition, a set rate. If they don't want that, then we won't take Pell Grants at that university. Somebody can go elsewhere. Okay, we want to bring our troops home. This is like really important too. This sets us apart from the two parties and definitely sets us apart from Hillary and Donald Trump. We want to end the Federal Reserve, another area where we are totally different than Hillary and Donald Trump. Okay, that's a big selling factor. Well, these are controversial issues for sure. And bringing our troops home, it also includes having them rotate along the border to protect our nation's border. Now, I was the guy 8 years ago that brought about the border issue, the illegal alien issue as the primary factor in my campaign. I've actually been producing solutions for the border for 8 years now. In fact, one of our supporters, or kind of supporters, suggested that we would create a large moat as well as a fence. And I actually like the idea. So the border fence idea is actually ours, a 1,000-mile border fence. A moat sounds very interesting. But again, costs have to be under consideration. And we want to use prison labor that's currently in our prison system, that's illegal aliens, to build this fence. Donald Trump doesn't know how he's going to finance it, because he just took my idea. he didn't really care how he was going to finance it. We are also clearly different than the Democrats, Republicans by our pro-legalization stance. And that's a big separator between us and them. But, you know, we talk a lot about cutting waste, and I have a zero deficit plan at America's Third Party, and it will literally save this nation a lot of money by just, if you look at it, it's two pages long. It uses all kinds of resources together and mashes up and loops the profit center of American business and government, so we don't waste money. All right, so I'm going to pull these down temporarily, or actually I'm going to have Sarah step in to our show. I'm going to pull this down. There we go.
Okay, then I can actually step into the show. Or here, you can...
No, I'm good.
Oh,
I'm just yeah, I'm going to take a break, but I'm going to set up some collapsing things just so that they move over.
Okay. No problem.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me a little break here.
I was thinking about books.
Oh, okay.
That's
different books.
Have you ever read The Bridge to Terabithia?
No. What's it about?
My goodness.
The Bridge to Terabithia.
Bridge to Terabithia. It's a sad book, but it's a really good book. It's like it's about this boy and girl who meet, and then they all they decide to create like this little. They live near a river, and they create like on the other side of the river from where they live. They create like a little fantasy land.
Oh, okay.
Like a little place where they can go and hang out, and it's just the two of them. And anyway, one time he ends up going. They kind of got into a little fight, and he went to some events, and the girl went to the river by herself. Went to the place by herself, I think, and passed away. And so he ended up building a bridge.
Oh, wow. To cross that river. That's huge. Wow, that's huge. Somebody said, dude, you said that you want to bring down the Federal Reserve. How do you plan to protect yourself against the elite so that you don't end up like Kennedy did? Well, I live in a cocoon, and it's bulletproof. So far, so good. The fact of the matter is, I'm not going to be taking any day trips in my convertible through Daily Plaza.
Have you ever read Tuck Everlasting?
Tough Everlasting?
Tuck Everlasting.
No, is that about the...
Oh my goodness!
The
You
Tucker...
gotta read these two books.
Is it the making of the Tucker?
No.
Tuck
It's
Everlasting.
about...
I don't
It's
tuck.
about a person who basically lives forever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would
Like,
explain...
and how the moral of the story, like the author's message, is basically, it's not so great to live forever.
Oh, okay. I remember there was a Twilight Zone series about that. The guy eventually lost his glasses, but he was living amongst books, but he couldn't read them.
I know. I love books.
It's too costly to remove God from dollar bills. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's, you know, a lot of you people want to create government, thinking it's going to help by creating bigger government. Thank you, DT Laura. But you're not going to see a better government by creating a bigger government. You're going to see a worse government. The problem with the Democrats' approach is they just want to create bigger programs and regulations and unfunded mandates. And that mentality is actually costing our nation dearly. We're going bankrupt at every state level that the Democrats are involved.
Where are you taking this from, Noble Watchman? The untold story behind something. At the heart of the tale are several men, leaders of the Canadian mining industry, who have been major donors to the charitable endeavors of former President Bill Clinton and his family. Members of that group built, financed, and eventually sold off to the Russians' company that would become known as Uranium One.
Wow. Like Kevin Spacey in American Beauty working out? No, I'm not into that. I basically believe that, you know, your president's going to have to be a good guy. You need a benevolent leader. You cannot possibly have this hateful, evil woman called Hillary, who simply wants to control people. And you can't have a guy who's doing a power grab for money because he's running out of his real money. I mean,
hello, David Nation.
$10 billion, he can't even justify $2 billion in assets. Hi there, David Nation. Well, you know, many people who believe in God believe in the power of prayer, but I'm not here to talk about religion, so many people don't know, but prayer has been quantified as a curative element in helping people. There's something about people meditating about one subject or one idea that actually is shown to help people. There are some metrics that validate that prayer will help cure people.
Another human, I personally, this is just my own personal belief, it's not necessarily the belief of America's Third Party David or any other organization I'm involved with. I personally would like for schools to no longer be weapons-free zones. I mean, if it weren't a weapons-free zone, you could theoretically bring a weapon to school to protect yourself from people that bring weapons to events.
Yeah.
They're afraid that the person inside the home might have a weapon and will defend themselves. But schools, weapons-free, they're not going to defend themselves.
I would like to see teachers or even janitors trained, you know, to handle a weapon and be able to carry a weapon, because I think that we're kind of leaving an open-ended situation here for a lot of potential shootings without responding with any credible plan to Sandy Hook or what allegedly was Sandy Hook. Our president has done next to nothing. They're just using it as a way to talk about gun control. They're not saving the schools. I do believe that fencing is necessary in some high school areas, as well as middle school and elementary schools. If we have the money, why not spend some serious, you know, and fencing doesn't have to be a problem if you have the kids going in and out in a staged way, a methodical way, where, you know, they don't just all cram to the exit. They release certain classrooms at certain times so that it's, you know, done effectively.
Right.
So they have to screen them out.
10 minutes at a time, you know, instead of one bell like signaling the end of the day. It's more like, oh, it's 3 o'clock, time for that class to go, time for this class to go. The only problem is like busing. It could be like, though, it could be like so-and-so, all right, time for this bus to load up. So-and-so, time for this bus to load up, no matter what class the kids are in.
You know, that's communist or fascist. Anything mandatory, the word mandatory shouldn't even be on your, it shouldn't even be on a political landscape, the word mandatory. It really belies a communist or a fascistic mentality, the word mandatory. Mandatory health insurance is fascistic in nature. What Obamacare turned out to be is ostensibly, truly, a price gouge of 40% on our healthcare costs. That's what it is.
Well, I think the other thing that has to be addressed with school shootings is the reason, the mental, as you said, anyone can snap. It's the mental state of the people involved. So reaching out to people and seeing what's going on with you. Are you okay? Are you you know, checking in on one another. We live in such a culture that has become so isolated and isolating. And so I think that we as individuals have to overcome that isolation, reaching out to people.
Yeah, I support a flat tax, 10% flat tax on income over $100,000 and 10% sales tax, which is a fair tax on non-food items. That will help support our country as opposed to what we have today, which is illegal taxation. Many different interpretations of the 16th Amendment there's not one interpretation that validates what they're doing on wages and compensations right now. I see all these people working at restaurants that are getting taxed big time, 15% on their work, and they say they're supposed to make $40 in tips an hour or some ridiculous thing like that, and they're taxed 15% every $40 an hour or for a shift. And the numbers are just extravagant. And they're screwing all of the waitresses and waiters that are working for next to nothing sometimes. People don't tip at restaurants, but the government says that they're supposed to be tipping and getting $40 on average an hour in tips.
Yeah, and they expect like 15% in tips.
Mm-hmm. And even if the people I'm talking to don't pay income tax in reality, I'm talking about people that are trying to live sustainably. A sustainable income schedule is, maybe you're living on Medicare or Medicaid funds, paying for your health care. Maybe you've got a Social Security check or disability check. You're still a citizen of the United States. I don't neglect those people. I see your purpose and I see where you're going. You don't want to elevate rapidly, and maybe you do want to elevate rapidly, but you don't really want to work for it. We have a plan for that. We call it Baseline Plus, where the baseline's covered. We'll still continue your plans with your Medicare, Medicaid. All that'll stay the same, but we will offer a public option, something that Obama couldn't do, where if you want a more robust plan where they cover dental care without having to wait in line at a mobile medical unit or at a public hospital, you'll get a $60 per month plan that will cover medical care and dental care for every individual, $60 per individual. I'm 55. Oh, you're asking Potato Girl how old she is? Okay. I see you found a new person to bother tonight. David Nation. Yeah. He came in out of the blue. We haven't seen him in, what, 4 months? Yeah, where have you been? I miss that fish, Spaz Nation. That fish was, a beautiful little fish. It had a unique, thing it was doing. It had a pregnant fish. I had a blue heron eat that fish the other day. It kind of saddened me.
Yeah.
It filleted the fish and ate the eggs and left the fish to die. And I had to bury it. So I scooped it up and put it in the ground and buried it. Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, true Potato Girl. People
right.
said everyone want her to tip 30%. 30% is becoming the new normal tip. Wow.
Okay. I don't understand why, Noble Watchman, you're talking about Hillary in a positive sense here. I don't get that. I mean, Hillary is the biggest culprit of violating foreign donations as Barack Obama is. I mean, I don't understand why you'd even post that.
He's posting a thing from an article.
Okay. She's not squeaky clean.
Well, it shouldn't be something that can be denied. Rex. TC. David is not rich. Ken Keith Kallenbach. He's not rich at all. But you can donate to David at AmericasThirdParty at gmail.com. That's his PayPal account. Oh, you're going for your master's in social work? I think that's fantastic, David Nation. No, I'm not mad, Spaz Nation. Oh, you don't tip? Am I mad at that? Maybe a little bit. Just $1 each time. It doesn't have to be a lot. But $1 each time you go out, they are not losers. Waiters and waitresses, they clean up after your mess. So that's why you would give them a little tip, because they clean up after your mess. I mean, that's less than, oh, you clean up after your own mess? Well, then if you ask, hey, I like to go do my own dishes when you go out to eat, then okay, it's understandable. Isn't that crazy, Potato Girl? I think that's crazy. Especially when you get in a group of people and everybody expects, everyone else to tip big. It's like whenever you're in a group, then everybody tips bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're, trying to impress each other by their tips. It's crazy. Thank you for the picture. Okay. Oh, okay. I should probably save that somewhere, huh? I think I just, like, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna bookmark it. I don't know what I'll do. That's a good point, Spaz Nation. The dishwashers do the dishes. Good point, Patriot J Bird. You should be like, this tip is only for the dishwasher, not for the waiter and waitress. But they do take your dishes to the dishwasher. I know. I think that is kind of strange, Noble Watchman, that, yep, Hillary sold this nation down the nuclear river. Yeah, and it's awful that the Clinton Foundation can accept all kinds of foreign contributions. But anyway. Okay. I think my, oh, great. There we go. Sometimes sometimes the waiters and waitresses clean tables. That's what it is. I wouldn't know if I'd call those abs, Big Hug, but okay. What is this, a video of? Muppets, Roy Clark, Rocky Top. I don't know if I want to see that detail or At one point someone tipped 50% and then someone else donated 60% and the waiter got a bigger tip than the bill, and you're like, I don't want to tip more than 20%. Hello. I'd be more like hanging out with you. Yeah, exactly. All right. Do I have any actual restaurant knowledge? Like working in a restaurant? Yes, I do. Bad news is curiosity. Oh, that is bad news. That's cute. Good night. Who's all good going good night? Good night, Mad Dog. Good night, good night. Sleep well, Mad Dog. Have fun. What do we plan on doing about the Trans-Pacific Partnership? Not letting it pass. Vetoing it if David were president and they try to pass it. Not only the Trans-Pacific Partnership, but the other UN laws that they try to make all of us in America abide by. Like, making it so that we can only use up to 48 volt system in a solar array. That is interesting. And the company's story was hardly front page news, so that's Uranium One. I will check into that, Noble Watchman. Thank you. Nope. Rex T C. Nope. Nope. Thank you, Abnormal. I appreciate that. Your opinion is valued as well. They're learners, Patriot Jaybird. They're always learning. That's what I would say. Which is what they're supposed to do. There's so much to learn out there. If he were offered that, can Keith Kallenbach? I think that would be a good position for him, but yes, I suppose so. Oh, you want to see what's really behind me? Alright, I'll show you. Ready? That's what's really behind me. Yeah, I could see him too as Secretary of State. Yep, negotiating with the Chinese and Russians, absolutely. The green screen. Ha ha ha. Then we would perhaps once he becomes president, then maybe he could issue executive orders repealing those partnership agreements. Wait, I can what? Abnormal? I don't know. Like a moon looking at Earth. Do you have a link to a cool background human pasted? I am the wizard. If you're standing on the other side of the green screen behind me, I'm the wizard. What am I showing, Drag King? No, I'm not going to show that. Do you remember, Sarah? Yes. AB, I remember you. Another brother. You're another brother. I thought at the time there was somebody else that was going by another brother. There's somebody that called in and they're like living in Mexico, but you're not in Mexico. You're in Hong Kong, correct? It's so good to see you again. Nope, no connections with anyone like that. That's what's behind me. Alright, Spouse Nation. Oh, Tyrannosaurus Rex is coming to eat me. Ah, that would not be fun. Another brother from another mother. Alright. Oh, Taipei. Taiwan. Thank you. Alright. Let's go with... I was going to save this link. I knew that was floating around there somewhere. Let me go here. No, what am I? I'm totally in the wrong month. In my mind. Where's the code here? This is behind you, Ken? Alright, what is this? Not found. I don't know why it didn't find it. Maybe because it didn't have HTTP up front.
I made you an avocado.
Oh, David made me
mayo.
an avocado sandwich.
Yeah. That'll be good. I'll be right there.
Yeah, it did take zip codes. Doesn't it take zip codes? It doesn't take zip codes anymore? Yes. Well, yeah, the weather app thing doesn't work anymore. I was right. That's not found, so I have to go to this individually. And then go up here, and then go like that. Oh, a Jaws picture. That's pretty good. I'm messing it up for the rest of bringing me fruit. No. We don't. David does not. He's not a wealthy guy, Ken. I don't know why you got in your head, like, you think David is a wealthy person. Nope. Not. Nope. I mean, he has me. Yeah, but retiring doesn't mean you always have a lot of money.
No, I mean, I could live
David's just able to live
on less
money than anybody else in the world.
Yeah, I
Well,
pretty
maybe
much.
not anybody else in
Well,
the world,
no.
but almost anybody else in the world.
There's a bag person in Calcutta that lives on less.
Well, basically the thing is, like, David doesn't spend a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm not a big spendy. I'm not like Donald Trump. I'm the antithesis of Donald Trump.
If you can live cheaply, then you could retire at 45 too. If you can live on, like, $1,000 a month,
Oh yeah.
then you could retire at 45 or less than $1,000 a month.
Yeah, it's all in how you live. I mean, a lot of you are growing into sustainability.
Oh, that's pretty funny, the kitty cat sharpening their claws. That's funny. That is hilarious. Oh my goodness, I can't stand up.
This cat, here, I'll hold it for you.
I can, but my foot's asleep.
Oh my gosh. You gotta get some exercise. This cat is actually saving money on a manicurist. Think of it that way. Not a bad way to go. She seems so interested too. Like Amber. Amber makes cameo appearances. This is a robotic kitty, like Lulu. Looks like your kitty. You have a black cat, really? That's kind of risky, don't you think, having a black cat? He looks like me. Yeah. I'm, like this shirt, for instance. I got it as a present 4 years ago, and it's like industrial. It'll never wear out. I'll have it for another 50 years. I do mind living on Spam. It's considered by the World Health Organization to cause cancer, so I don't eat that. It's best not to eat processed meat. So eat your meat raw. Yeah. You spend at least $150 on clothes a weekend? Well, and you're worried about my hair? I'd be worried about your credit card debt. And you haven't made a donation to our party? That's pretty sad, man. Check out your cat. Ken Keith Callenbach has a cat for us. Hey, Ken. Oh my God. Is that real? That can't be real. That is amazing. That's pretty sad, man, that cat was that fat. Meow TV is here. He's holding in the right wing. Anti-Muslim. Would that characterize your politics, Meow TV? Just anti-Muslim? I support the freedom of speech, guaranteeing freedom of religion in America. I don't want to deport Muslims like Donald Trump does. You have another one? Oh yeah, that's scary. I don't like that. Yeah, anytime I see the Burger King, I wonder, what the hell is going on with this weird, creepy guy? I want to deport people that are trying to illegally come in the border, jumping the fence. I want them to be sent back right away. I want people at the border, even Minutemen, working in tandem with Border Patrol and or National Guardsmen and women to defend our nation against a horde of people coming up from the South America, with a population rate of growth rate of 30 to 35% for various areas around South America. And in America, we have a 5% growth rate because of the people coming into the border illegally. We need to deal with that border, and that was why I pushed for the idea of the fence in 2008. Actually, I started talking about the 1,000-mile fence with my dad in 1999. No, 1996, actually. 1996, we talked about it. Right around the same time Pat Buchanan picked up the ball and talked about it, we were talking about it. But a 1,000-mile fence is what we proposed. My dad and I talked politics for about 20 years. He was a political science major and he actually taught history, government, and world religions at a high school level. And he taught political science. And he kind of talked to me about a third party for a long, long time. There was a couple of attempts to create a third party in the Democratic Party. It didn't work out. A guy by the name of Harris tried to start a group of populists. And then even Jerry Brown at one point was a populist running within the Democratic Party in 1992. He got about 8% of the vote. Yeah, I used to be a young man. Now I'm 55. I can't get over I'm actually older than I was then. Isn't that amazing how time kind of rolls? Is that how you roll? Ooh, that would be good for our Clockwork Orange background. Clockwork. Yeah. I've been around since JFK died, you know, when I was a kid. I saw his funeral on TV. Everyone around me was crying, and I was crying too, because I was sad. Oh, you found the House of Sponheim, good for you. It's a medieval German noble family which originated in Rhenish Franconia. They were immediate counts of Sponheim until 1437. Thanks for finding my my background. Would you guys like to see the castle that my family built in the Rhineland? I'll take you for a little tour if you'd like. This is Berg Sponheim. It's a beautiful town, about 900 people. It's there now. I've never been there. I've been wanting to go. Yeah, the music is optional. Welcome to the castle. Yeah. So my family built this over time. It took a long time. But how do you think we survived all these years to take on some of the robber barons like the Rothschilds, who are working through their channels to take over our nation while I'm trying to bring back a populist movement to our country? Welcome to my castle. It's coming up, I guess October 31st will be our October Saturday show. It'll be our anti-war rally Saturday show. Well, let's be clear. In Germany, there's a lot of things happening. Citizens are panicking. This is our future as Muslims march through the city. Let's check this out. Yeah, people walking through the city. What is this? Maybe we can get some volume here. Everyone came to see it. Look at the women, they're all veiled, wearing burqas. Wow, you know, what do you think, guys? You want that for America, too? Seriously. That's just crazy. Okay, let's see what we got. Germany is about as confused as the migrants, yeah. Dave, how close do you think there will be an armed revolution in the U.S.? I'd give it about at this point, a 20% chance of it happening in the next 10 years. Based on the aggressive nature of the buildup of defenses against it, Jade Helm specifically being the buildup that I'm describing. It's almost like when I found out that Jade Helm was actually an offshoot of the Jade 2.0 military computer system that the DARPA has created, I realized that Jade was actually preparing for the plan ahead of our nation, because it's already done the metrics on our economy. It already analyzed the collapse of the dollar, and it probably decided, well, the only thing that's going to happen is civil unrest because nobody's fixing the problem. And people come in the show asking me, do you like tacos de conchita pibil con chipotle? And I know I don't like that because I've never tried it. You have to try something to like it. But questions like that are irrelevant right now. We're dealing with our saving our nation. I really appreciate you concerned about conchito chipotle. But the bottom line is we have so many issues that are, we can't be the spillover valve. If Barack Obama on his way out wants to bring in 1 million Syrians into our country, or whatever, he's already brought in close to 15,000 Iraqis per year, 15,000 Somalians per year on average, 15,000 Nigerians per year on average into our country. And areas like Rochester, Minnesota are having problems with it. They're absorbing Muslim and non-Muslim populations that's freaky. I don't think I want to look at that. And they're having a problem absorbing it. David Shrek, did you hear about the man-made objects in space will hit the Indian Ocean projected on November 14th? Yes. Yep. It could be cataclysmic. It could be the thing that'll spark the need for something like a response of FEMA, something like that. If Obama is darkening America, it's the will of the Democrats that made it happen. Or shall I say the lack of will, the lack of ability to question anything he did. If you want to blame anything on anyone right now, it's the Democrats. You can blame the Republicans prior because of George Bush, because he was terrible too. But now the Democrats have this sense of entitlement that makes them think they're going to roll over with Hillary going, what difference at this point does it make? You love me? Well, thank you for loving me. Love is a many splendored thing. It feels good to be loved. As long as we keep everything, nice and clean, everything's, love is great. It's when love gets dirty that love gets disgusting. Ugh. Hello. Well, no, not that kind of love. Spaz Nation, please. Thank you. Calm yourself. Well, that's a problem, man. If you're a guy, I'm not gay. So we're going to have to purge you. Let's talk about politics. What do you say? Spaz Nation is high on acid. That's not my problem. This is Germany's problem. 1 million people in the cities of Germany, places that I once revered a long, long time ago. Yeah. Muppets, Roy Clark. Okay, I'm glad she didn't play that. Uh-oh. The belly button ring appeared. Okay. Alright, I guess I'm up to speed on the show. I'm an average guy. Found women attractive all my life and have always been excited by women. And it's been kind of a love affair of sorts. I love the female form, artistically speaking. Not that I'm into erotic photography or anything, but who hasn't watched an occasional porn popping up on their email? We're going to talk about a few things here. The truth. Somebody said at the beginning of our show that they were not afraid to die, and I called him out as a liar. Because I don't know about you, but it's always kind of haunted me, the thought that, death is so permanent. I'm blushing, I know. I'm not here to push anything, extreme politically. I'm a centrist, so. But I will piss a lot of people off pushing something political in any country that's controlled, like ours is. So clearly I'll have enemies. And they'll want to kill me. And, not Donald Trump, excuse me. I had a misfiring of the Donald Trump butt plug. Yes. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we introduce the future of pleasure centers in America. Donald Trump will usher in Jade Helm. He'll be their henchman. He'll be their architect. And the butt plug will be painful. And it won't be fun when it's inserted. It's a stiff dose of deportation, illegal immigrants being treated like animals, not given any kind of human respect, an extension of the George W. Bush era. As opposed to a sensible plan, our fast-track naturalization plan, which he doesn't have, where we don't just turn Jade Helm into your giant sphincter. We slowly eliminate the illegal alien problem by simply telling people that they should not hire illegal people. And if they do, they'll be serving time in jail. That alone will start to prevent this terrible outbreak of illegal aliens coming to our country. If people can't find a job here, and I have a plan called Pay Americans First, where we don't pay them at all for food stamps, welfare, or Section 8 housing, non-U.S. citizens. That's something Donald doesn't have either. So basically the Donald Trump butt plug could be put away, and we can start thinking intelligently. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to deport people unless you're coming in over the border immediately. We'll give you an immediate trial. Sarah's idea of giving every Border Patrol agent that's in charge of an area the ability to be the judge at the time, we'll give them a trial at the border right away. And we'll honor the constitutional requirements of the 14th Amendment as prescribed by the Supreme Court. Excuse me, I had something in my mouth. I think it was a laugh. The Supreme Court should never have given so many rights to illegal aliens, period. It's ridiculous, but whatever. We want to honor the Geneva Convention codes, whereas Donald Trump wouldn't. They'd see them as enemy combatants and treat them like animals. I would never do that. In fact, people who are running without money, Pay Americans First will give people an extra food budget by simply giving you lots of corn tortillas and refried beans and rice at the local food pantries. We'll have plenty of that. I'm basically giving as much as I can food-wise to everybody, no matter who you are, whether you're illegal or non-U.S. citizens or U.S. citizens. We're going to give people food. And we will continue the food stamp program for U.S. citizens and make it a little bit more clear as to what we're going to do with it. Because what I want to do with food stamps is I want to get the government to tell the farmers that are not growing food to grow food and use that food to process generically and provide America generic food items for like an entree, a two-person entree for about $2 or $3. Something very affordable, it's very tasty, and will be available at your local grocers for a very affordable cost of $2 or $3. I'm against GMOs. Like I said, I spearheaded the growth of organic food and distribution in this country. I would be against GMOs, don't you think? It stands to reason. It's very constitutional to mix. In fact, it goes within the Constitution. Under the framework of the USDA program, I, as Commander-in-Chief of our nation and of the military, can work programs that are currently in existence to make them more functional. USDA handles farm subsidies, and they also handle the EBT program, the SNAP program, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And this is a program under the same roof of the USDA that we can get to work more efficiently. And I've outlined that in my zero deficit plan, which will provide a much better chance of getting $1 trillion off our budget. I anticipate taking $20 to $30 billion off of the combined budget of USDA farm subsidies and USDA EBT and supplemental nutrition. Wow. Anyway, none of those plans would ever work with a guy like Donald Trump. He'll just continue to borrow money and support the military-industrial complex and Big Brother. I want this country to support itself and to shrink the government so it doesn't become... I want this to be a painting on the wall, a memory of how America used to be, the Jade Hill memory. I won't need to run 3 kilometers. Yeah, I can use a hovercraft with a bulletproof shield. That comes with the job. The perks that you get from being president. Yeah. So we also want to end war. We talked about the tragic nature of war. That's the truth. We don't want war. In fact, our entire anti-war rally last Saturday posed the question, how can we have war and peace at the same time? How can we create peace by having more wars? So yeah, we want to end war, and that'll help a lot. You know, I did run a what is equivalent to a 10K when I was young. I used to be on a sports team. You probably heard of them. The UCLA Bruins. I was a crew member at one time. I used to do the rowing thing. And we had to train really hard. And yeah, I did a lot of running then. But my road days the road work I did back then was disastrous. It's hard on your legs when you do those 10Ks. They can really burn your body out. Beekman, you have another picture of something. Just constantly throwing these pictures at me. Oh, we got a lift. This is about the best Trump toupee I've ever seen. I really think it's his hair. I think it's safe to say it's his hair. I think he really has hair. Mine isn't as long as his. I like a short cut. I live in a military town. I think I ran 4 miles at that time. It's like 4 or 5 miles. It's like a 10K thing, something like that. Yeah, my hair is real. These are real follicles. These are real hair. I have a wig though that I'm going to be wearing on Donald Trump night, and people are liking it so much that they want me to, wear it all the time. I think, if that's your choice, I'll honor your wishes. All right, so we're going to get the background in for the. That's so totally cool, dude. These kind of things make me sick. I don't know, it's weird. It's disgusting. Well, I don't know about Ben Carson being as much of a hack. Ben Carson likes to say some things that are quirky and fun, like he'd take bullets in case somebody was, being fired upon. His body would be a bullet cushion. Talk is cheap. Those are the kind of guys that'll be whimpering in the corner, asking for their mommy and their blankie and vomiting from all the stress. People that talk like that are usually the last person that would offer their body up. I'm comparing everybody to everybody at this point. One thing they all have in common, except for Hillary, is they are all human. Hillary is a robot. That much I'm sure of. Would I offer up my body? I already am. I'm offering up my body for the nation. What do you think this is all about? I put my body on the line when I decided to run in 2008. I've had over 50 death threats. I live in a high secure area. In order to defend myself, I'm completely trained in martial arts and countless other techniques like accurate shooting, etc. I try to maintain a daily regime of physical preparedness. If somebody were to take an attack on me directly or put us in mortal danger, I'd have to terminate them. My protocols are clear. We will have to be inside, though, trapped in mortal danger. I can't talk about it. I have a secret sensei. Let's just say it's the Shotokan origin of my martial art. Part of my success is not telling my enemy what my martial art is. That is the secret. They don't know. It's like, Mr. Anderson. I don't believe Carson is a physically brave man at all. Has he any evidence of ever committing an act of bravery like Donald Trump did? when he stopped his car and said, "You're fired!" And he stopped a fight. Did you hear that the other day? David, the object that is due to hit the Earth on November 14th is known as what the bleep bleep has reference to 9/11. NASA does not want what it is, but does know it's hollow inside. How does that make sense? Well, if NASA doesn't know what it is and they know it's hollow inside, that sounds like they put it out there so it would crash into the Earth. Well, it looks like they're planning an attack on our country eventually. I mean, we knew that our country was being attacked with chemtrails. And we knew that NASA wouldn't give us a standard answer whenever we called them. So we, some woman called up NASA and asked, what's going on? Why are these things, this lithium, being dumped in the atmosphere all the time? It's been going on for years, by the way. They've been dumping lithium in the atmosphere. If you're wondering why global climate change is happening, it's because they're making it happen rapidly. That's the game plan. No, it's a real NASA story. It can be a NASA interview with a NASA person at the Goddard Space Lab. Are you saying he never worked there now? You would. Hey, why are we different than all the rest? Let's talk about that. We're against the war. We want to end the Fed. Donald Trump wants to keep the Fed going and borrow more money. Hillary does too. They want to start wars, like with Syria and Ukraine. I know that Donald Trump wants to start a war with Iran. Admiral, that's not going to happen. I know, those damn Rothschilds at it again. Oh, there it is. It's hiding. Alright, we'll just put this over here. Now this is what we're kind of dedicated to here. Let me put it in. Would you, Dayglow color would be good, like pink, Dayglow pink. Yellow. Green. Here we go. Alright, that's what we want to do. We are against war. I don't think I do. I'll have to ask Sarah about that. Thank you. Yeah, so we're kind of coming around a wrapping things up kind of thing on the show. I'd love to be able to give you guys 24/7 of my life, but as you know, as a professional male model, my life is pretty busy. I have to look at myself in the mirror during the day and comb my hair. No, I'm not a professional male model. I don't even know what I am, but I can tell you I can't give you more than 4 hours a day. If I do, I would end up giving Hillary, I give no time to Sarah, and she ends up, wondering where I am. Yeah, my Thai modeling days are here. Yeah, we don't need more wars. We need to focus on our own country, our borders. I support the 1,000-mile fence idea, which I came up with. I'm just glad that I have the ability to talk. A lot of people my age, 55, don't have the ability to talk. No, I never did any porn. I don't even know what that would be like. I'm a pretty private person. I try to keep myself fit so that I'm ready for the imminent task of leading the nation, but more so just to live well and try to avoid illness. If you stay fit, you're more likely to avoid illness. The Queen Mother, Victoria of England, actually said that she lived to be nearly 100. She actually said that if you avoid going, the worrying about a pain, it'll go away. I thought that was pretty funny. Some people go in for operative surgery whenever they have a little pain here and there. She lived to be 99, and she just said, if you ignore it, it will go away. Queen Victoria. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, the Queen Mother. Victoria. Queen Victoria. I'm not English. I have 1/4 English in me. Would you like to look at Queen Victoria? She had a pretty good attitude. I mean, she lived a long time. But, you know, she had a lot of adversity. You know, with a staff of thousands of people, the Queen ruled up until the end of her life. She passed the throne off to others. All right, so this has been a fun show. I am not part of England. I'm basically an American citizen, always have been. Unlike other guys like Ted Cruz, and I understand Rand Paul and others are like courting the support of AIPAC. I will not support AIPAC. I will not get any AIPAC funding. I promise you I will never get AIPAC funding. So I'm insulated from the Zionist takeover of our nation. I certainly don't want to, you know, break up a good thing with China like Donald Trump does. I want to impose a 15% ecological tariff on China or any other country that violates certain standards that we impose. But that's as high as that tariff would go. David, have you heard this fact that we're spending $10 million a day fighting ISIS? I've heard that, yeah, Anarchy, and I don't know if it's true or not. Thank you. Her name was Elizabeth. Thank you. This is Queen Victoria. You're referring to the Queen Mother of Elizabeth. I'm sorry. I was referring to Queen Victoria. Thank you, Barking Darking. God. David, will you try to have a better relationship with Russia? Yes. I will make an open offer of kind of an overture to Vladimir Putin to discuss world politics in a more sane way. I'm not saying he's not sane. He's absolutely spot on correct. We have been violating Syria's sovereign airspace and land. We shouldn't even be there. The UK and the US should pull back, and we should acknowledge a former satellite nation of Russia, the Soviet Union, as an area we will be hands off. And I think that will really smooth things over with Vladimir Putin. And any other issues like Ukraine we can work out as well. What we're seeing now is a very ill thought out plan by the global elitists, the New World Order, if you will, the World Bank and the IMF, to push for absolute mindless control over other nations, using America as the arm, the military arm. When we deposed the power of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, it was right out of a playbook. And now they're trying the same playbook with Syria, and it's not working because Syria has over 350 dangerous airplanes and helicopters and jets. I mean, Muammar Gaddafi had, what, five or 10 F-15s in his force? I mean, it's a big difference between Libya and Syria. I don't drink, you know, but I would, if I ever met Putin in person, I would certainly share vodka with him. I think that he's a kind of a miraculous character for his country, insofar as he's been able to withstand a lot of criticism for a long time. I haven't done an acid dip, no. I thought that Vladimir Putin's changed a little bit when he did that. I'm not sure. I mean, his face got kind of like pulled back a little bit, but he certainly looks younger when he did the acid dip. You're casting the World Series game from Mexico. Oh, I did not know that. Hola, buenos dias. He's done a lot of good for a Russia that was almost irrelevant during a long period, yeah. What happened to Russia, the truth about what happened to Russia is, kind of gets back to 9/11. And, you know, we'd be remiss in not talking about 9/11 at least once tonight, in that it is Truth Tuesday. But George H.W. Bush took out a $240 billion bond issue in September 11th, 1991, which came due the day of the World Trade Center attack. It was $240 billion, and there was a lot of other money that was transferred during the attack that we'll never know about. What was Donald Rumsfeld said that $2.3 trillion was missing, and that's a fact. The fact is 9/11 and a money dump at the same time was very much tied together. Anyway, George H.W. Bush took out that loan, from what I understand, to topple the Soviet Union during his reign as a vice president, working with Ronald Reagan, and then as president for his one term. What happened during that time when Ronald Reagan said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." When he said that, it was they were literally working on the banking and the oil industry of Soviet Union, breaking it down. It was an economic hit, and I believe that money went to that economic hit. And it's unfortunate because whether it's the entire event, 9/11, was perpetrated by an outside group or not, there is solid evidence that there was a cover-up by the 9/11 Commission report, not even introducing the idea of a demolition and explosions. When every expert, even 10,000 architects worldwide, have signed off on the belief that this is definitely a detonation of 3 buildings. Hello, Mohammed, how are you? Yeah, well, this is the thing. He's done nothing to stop the death of every road user in Russia in multiple flaming high-speed pileups, which is harming population growth quite a bit. Yep. And there's a lot of high-speed pileups because people think that they are living on the Autobahn in Russia and they want to live the good life. That's an internal issue that Putin can work with himself. The nice thing about having separate countries and the nation-state model is we don't have to tell Putin what to do in Russia. And the very fact that we're trying to join this some sort of a global world entity run out of the World Bank and the IMF and the UN is absurd. We need to detach from that. We should merely be one of the sitting members on some of the different committees at the UN. We shouldn't be financing the growth of very corrupt people at the UN, which ultimately will come back to haunt us, and that's what's happening. Our policies have literally turned into snake pits. Every one of Obama's policies has evolved into a snake pit. 6 countries in the Middle East are now at the point of civil unrest, which gets worse and worse every day because of our meddling, or in the case of Egypt, non-meddling, where we just turned to Hosni Mubarak, who asked numerous times by phone to talk to Barack Obama and was turned away. A man who had to fight through an entire court case to be acquitted of any crimes, claiming he killed people. Hosni Mubarak would have retained control up until the final elections, and at least 1,000 people would have lived, as opposed to died in Egypt. And now it's being run by a military junta leader, General Sisi, now President Sisi. That's right, I should play that video. So they're being run by President Sisi, okay? And the same thing happened in Yemen, where we turned our back on President Saleh, former President Saleh, and Barack Obama installed Camp Change in the middle of Yemen. Talk about a thorn in the side of one of our allies, and then we proceeded to do drops with drones, with JSOC, Joint Special Operations Command, which we're now paying for after the fact, damage control. Queen Victoria, Victoria Roosevelt. Now, this is the thing. If you want to talk about the nature of our government and what we're doing, we're really just doing whatever London tells us to do. The city. London is called the city, and they control politics around the world. They're working in combination with people at all levels around Europe to literally, they pull us like a string. We need to separate from that. Our nation should never have been subsidiary of England. We should never have been living under their auspices. When we had the War of 1812, this could have been ironed out, but instead lawyers got to this and they basically worked a deal and contracts were written. Even as far back as 1780s, our nation had to respond to the Paris Treaty, which gave the King of England the status of arch treasurer of the United States. So for all these years we've been in bankruptcy. It has been to give England control over our treasury, and that's where the Federal Reserve comes in. I think dissolving the Federal Reserve is essential. Ending their reign of terror, of financial terror on the American government. You know, borrowing money is it's like a noose around your neck, tightens as you borrow. I don't have any immediate knowledge of Netanyahu on the words of Hitler. Let me validate this. He criticized, Netanyahu criticized, okay, for Hitler. What? Oh, okay. There's no question Adolf Hitler led Nazi Germany when it implemented the final solution in an effort to kill all the Jews. But in his speech this week, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu suggested that it wasn't Hitler's idea. Rather, he pointed to Jerusalem's then Grand Mufti, the Hajj Amman
the Israeli Prime
al-Husseini,
Minister
who met with the
Benjamin
Nazi leader
Netanyahu,
in
meantime,
Germany.
is facing a backlash over highly controversial remarks he made about the Holocaust. Let's bring it.
Yeah, I'm glad that he actually said that, actually. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if the killing of Jews was Palestinian inspired. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Thank you. And thanks for that article. I mean, I wouldn't have even looked it up. You know, I don't get cable TV. And a lot of you guys get filtered information through the talking points that come through cable TV that I may actually miss because it doesn't reach Google News. Oh yeah, Democrats are lazy. David, you're so right. England runs the USA. So sad. I know. And it's something that many people in America don't understand, that the Act of 1871 gave them the ability to control our nation by creating a corporation called the United States. And it's hard to get this through to people that the United States of America is actually a different legal entity than the United States. I know, but believe me, $20 a month is, what, 400? Actually, $20 a month is significant enough in the long run to save. 4 years, it's like $1,000. You can buy a nice sit-down lawnmower for that. Plus, you avoid the commercials. I don't believe we should be plugged in. I believe our nation is moving more toward video on demand and sustainability. I'm not like the other guys. I don't support rampant direct marketing, demographic studies of your behavior online, the NSA watching your emails. I don't support any of that. Oh yeah, if you're calling him a nut job, his own psychiatrist killed himself, whatever. Look, the deal is Netanyahu may be actually revealing something that's very true. Hitler was not the man behind the plan to kill off all the Jewish people. The people that got Hitler in charge were behind that plan. So, whether he went crazy or rogue, I don't know. But I do know that the people that put Hitler in charge were trying to depopulate and prevent communist takeover of Europe. And those people have roots all over the Western European nations. Hitler was financed. He was heavily financed, like Barack Obama was. I couldn't afford to stay at a Trump hotel. $600 a night. I don't get an $8,000 doctor bill. Yeah. That's the thing. I wouldn't go to a doctor for health care unless I had indications of serious illness like appendicitis or something, or a hernia. Those things you can't just go unchecked. They can actually kill you. You can strangulate. I never tried any hair transplants. I don't believe in that. You know, I don't know if Biden, has a tendency of being a touchy-feely guy. Not really. You know, frankly, I believe the body heals itself, Meow TV. Unlike you, I don't suffer from radiation burns of my testicles. Now, in your case, I don't know how you're going to solve your problem. But I wasn't a first responder at Chernobyl either. Look, it all depends on how clean your life is and how you're working to help maintain health. Believe it or not, what goes in your mouth actually affects your body. Your pie hole, one of the most significant parts of your body, it could very well be, you know, the place you stick the worst possible ingredients. Like now the World Health Organization is saying bacon. Well, whatever you stick in your pie hole is going to end up causing you something downstream, whether it's good health or you know, good vitamins, or death and destruction from GMOs and tumor production. Who knows? Garbage in, garbage out. So if you're of the concern that you really need to see a doctor, bear in mind that most hospital-borne infections are leading to a number of deaths. These little guys, these little creatures that hang out in the hospitals cause 250,000 deaths a year. So when you think you're sick, and gosh, you know, well, mouth cancer can kill you, yeah. But if you see a lesion in your mouth, yeah, see your doctor. If you see a serious problem evolving in your skin, like skin cancer, yes, see a doctor. But bear in mind, a lot of these are just money pits and traps. And I'm going to do everything I can to stop these greedy mongers who are committing crimes against humanity on a daily basis by ripping people off. Yeah, doctors of tomorrow will be the equivalent of like a technician, like a mechanic. No different. Many of them will be trained merely in doing advisory work with robotics. The future will be robotic operations performed solely by a computer that will repeat itself and save a lot of money doing so. And we won't be billed for all those computer things. I'm going to be having mobile medical units in every city in America, eventually, like this one. And we can provide immediate health care to anybody on a daily basis. But initially, I'm going to put these in the mobile medical VA facilities. We'll be partnering up with telemedicine systems, and the VAs will be growing. And these VAs will be amazing. I mean, it's going to be providing everything from generic medicine at the mobile medical VA to medicinal marijuana. You'll be able to get some in the back. I'm legalizing marijuana across the board. My favorite stand-up comedian is Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce. My second favorite stand-up comedian is George Carlin, the guy who copied Lenny Bruce. I like humor of all different types. You know, I like slapstick humor. I like wordplay. I don't really like self-deprecating humor when a really fat guy goes out on stage and starts talking about his weight problem. Gilbert isn't that talented. I'm not big on Gilbert. But making fun of your own body to get laughs is kind of sad. It breaches the whole ethic of good humor, I think. Laughing at people. Well, the reason why I want to legalize marijuana is because, like, look at this study, a comparison done for the NHS, National Health Service in England. Alcohol versus cannabis. Alcohol is addictive. Cannabis is non-addictive physically. Alcohol is a depressant. Cannabis is an antidepressant. Alcohol causes cancer. Cannabis is found to cure cancer. 1 million deaths per year from alcohol. 0 deaths in history from cannabis, allegedly. There's supposedly, oh, you're going to bed, Beekman? Okay, good night. Good night. Thanks for coming in. I've heard that hemp oil prevents cancer. I heard that cannabis oil is really, really beneficial. Anyway, you get the idea. They've got this thing on the schedule of controlled substances that shouldn't be on it. It's got to be legalized. And part of our plan is to do that. All right, I think Sarah's piping up the show. We're going to get started on our new season of Survivor. Hopefully. Or no, actually, she's got a show I've got to finish from last night. That's right. That show is James Spader. Blacklisted. He's hilarious. I think he's funny. His voice is almost impossible to impersonate. I can't stay for another hour. I'm back tomorrow for a 4-hour shift. No, cannabis is not a gateway drug. That's like saying milk is a gateway drug to alcohol. That's absurd. Well, yes, enable safe mode won't really help right now. You think I should let her? No. It is, yeah. In fact, cigarettes are more of a gateway drug to methamphetamines and cocaine. Cigarettes tend to be a means by which people do cocaine and methamphetamines. They dab their cigarettes in drugs and then just start. I've actually seen people wean themselves off of harder drugs by doing marijuana. In fact, I have met people that actually got off of cigarettes, which are more addictive than anything you could imagine, by smoking marijuana. If anything, marijuana is a curative element for people who have addictions to cigarettes and other serious drugs. Yeah, I think it's a gateway back to normality. In fact, people with PTSD are suffering from a tremendous amount of stress from killing people. You can only imagine how that feels to blow away a 15-year-old kid, in the middle of war, because you think he may be carrying an IED. Well, there are guys in our room that come in every night, and we chat with them late in the evening till 2 in the morning. I chat into the evening that have PTSD and really benefit from marijuana. So a lot of you prohibitionists, I just showed you a chart that shows you that marijuana is completely safe. If you want to claim it's a gateway drug, then go ahead and, believe anything's a gateway drug. Yeah, food is a gateway drug, right. Well, I'm telling you, man, I lived in many rough neighborhoods. Don't be telling me I don't never live in a rough neighborhood. I grew up in LA. I lived in rough neighborhoods for 35 years of my life. And I can tell you, it wasn't marijuana that took everybody's money. It's cocaine, it's methamphetamines, it's crack. It's what the drug that your president prefers, crack cocaine. You got a president that's openly admitted to smoking crack cocaine. And you're coming out hard against marijuana, a non-addictive drug. That's absurd. I don't live in any rich house, but I live in a modular home in the middle of a middle or lower middle class neighborhood. I used to do business in Compton, Inglewood. I used to live in the city of LA. In fact, I drove through the same area Reginald Denny drove through before he had his face bashed in with a brick. 1 week before, I was there. Yes, I was in Compton, man. I used to grow, man. I remember delivering T-shirts to a woman in Compton, an African-American woman who was for a church. When I was about 20 years old, I delivered T-shirts to her, and she said to me, she said, "Have you ever heard of this Mick Jagger?" And I said, "Yeah, he's a famous musician." And she said, "He is the Antichrist." And she looked at me with such a look of fear. I said, "Wow, I never thought about that. He does like money. And he seems to perform for more money every year. He could be the Antichrist. I don't know. She might be right. I don't have moves like Jagger. And I'm not Jewish like Levine. Why do you chat till the day you die? Born in the USA. I had a chance to actually see Bruce Springsteen one time across the street, and he looked at me and he went like that. Like that. I'll never forget it. Bruce Springsteen pointing at me and going like that. I like that. I had some great moments in my life. I've actually lived kind of like a movie. My whole life seems like a movie. I did enjoy a nice steak dinner recently, Shrek. Yeah. It's hard to get good quality beef. I'm actually very interested in finding... no, I don't have... The Rock Hudson anecdote was more like a weird, creepy old guy dying of AIDS looking at me. I believe in dreams. I have a dream that someday this chat room will be a beautiful movement, America's Third Party. I have a dream that we will no longer judge each other by the color of our skin, but rather the content of our character. I have a dream. All right, so this border fence idea is really kind of antiquated. Meow TV added the added bonus of a moat. So I'm adopting the border fence / moat idea. I thought that was pretty good. So we're going to continue with that and continue the idea that a moat will actually provide a waterway that we can desalinate while we're protecting the border. Why not? All right, so I think we talked about a lot of fun stuff. It's been special. We found out the truth about Jade Helm, Shrek. Jade Helm, it turned out, was a program put together by the computer itself, Jade 2.0. The protocols, the number of men, the distribution of troops necessary for a UN takeover of our country was put in place by the computer system, Jade 2.0. Every person who said I have a dream got shot or ended up in an insane asylum. Well, I guess I don't have a dream anymore. I had a dream, and it's no longer my dream. It was taken away from me because I'm not allowed to have a dream. Wouldn't that be a new twist on the Martin Luther King I have a dream? I used to have a dream. I'll play the creepy Mr. Rogers video where he does the mark of the devil. Saving the world one cast at a time. I like that. So tomorrow's Wasteful Wednesday. We talk about some of the terrible problems with waste, industrial waste. We'll be bringing up methane generated by cows. We'll be talking a little bit about industrial waste pollution created by industry dumped in our skies. In case you were wondering what they were doing with all the industrial waste, they're dumping it on your head. I'm not kidding. We'll talk about the waste and garbage dumps. We'll talk about the waste that you may call your life because you aren't getting an education because you don't want to waste $150,000 of your future loans. We're going to talk about the building preparedness for our nation, helping the soil with national composting plans. But most of all, we talk about the waste in our government, and we talk about how we're going to cut the cost of everything. Now, Donald Trump, for example, Donald Trump wants to actually build the 1,000-mile fence that I came up with by sending a bill to Mexico. I, however, want to do this by having it paid for entirely with the savings from not imprisoning illegal aliens in our prison system, because that's where the money is currently rolling out. We spend $25 billion a year keeping illegal aliens in our prison system. So we'll have them work about 3 months, and then we'll give them all kinds of transport to the border of their country, and they'll have to go back over. But they'll have their freedom finally. And 3 months worth of work at the border will help provide them some money too, like $1 a day. But at least it's some cash. They can leave the prison and go do something to get started. We'll give them some clothes too. They could get started with it. Maybe a leisure suit and some Nike shoes, something like that, or Nike strike-offs. What would you want to dress in if you were out of a prison cell and having worked 3 months on the border? Nobody can take Donald Trump seriously. Yeah, It's sad. The guy puts his foot in his mouth all the time. You know, I think the age limit is irrelevant. We saw Ronald Reagan run the country with advanced Alzheimer's.
Well, I'm sure that Don Regan can handle almost everything that my office... Could I get my jelly beans back? Does anyone know where my jelly beans are?
I mean, the guy obviously shouldn't have probably run, but he did a pretty good job of stitching the nation together. What we don't need is another egomaniac like Barack Obama. And unfortunately, we've got one with Donald Trump. And that's only going to pit the left against the right, right against the left, the same game that the two parties is all about, which is unfortunate, it really is. We keep going back to the same concept. All right, so lots of stuff to talk about, the truth tonight. We finished that. I'm going to be talking a little bit about 9/11. We'll be playing you some videos as well in the lineup. We'll start the show with a little bit of, you know, Mr. Rogers and the mark of the devil. It was just, actually, it's a sign I love you, ironically. But everyone seems to, you know, laugh at how he uses that insignia. Yeah, pretty funny. Okay. Let's see if I can put this together here. Hey, Naper. Yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah, I don't think I really have the clip from him doing that satanic sign. It doesn't seem to be in my lineup. So I guess I won't be able to do that. Oh well, that's good for me because I don't like that sign. I think that's wrong. Okay. We'll bring you a little bit about Kurt Cobain and his murder. Some people don't realize that it does look like a murder. Kurt Cobain was obviously, the story of him shooting himself with a shotgun just doesn't make sense. Well, if Bernie's talking about help, it's going to cost every taxpayer in America, because he has a socialist plan to charge another $18 trillion to our debt. That's what he talked about last week. You know, charging $18 trillion to our debt is not the best way to handle our problems. Going deeper into debt is not what I call hybrid capitalism. So, yeah, weird stuff. Let's see, leaked video of the cruise missile hitting the Pentagon. We'll give you a little of that. Unusual activities at the World Trade Center before 9/11. We'll give you a little of that. I'm going to show you a CIA 9/11 whistleblower named Susan Lindauer, an interview. Talking about Mossad possibly being behind the 9/11 attack. Interesting theories behind that. There is quite a few things implicating Mossad, and I'll be playing a little bit about that. Let's see. No windows on the plane that actually went into one of the towers. Larry Silverstein saying, pull it. It's a demolition term. And we'll top it off with radio host William Cooper predicting 9/11, which led to his death. And 15 disturbing 9/11 facts you wish weren't true. Amazing stuff. Even a picture of a demolition truck in front of the Twin Towers on camera. I mean, there's so many things that would require me to open up an independent investigation of the 9/11 Commission report. So many things. All right. Thank you so much for coming in, everyone. Every day is a new adventure. If you're depressed, sleep it off. Drink coffee. The truth is, 50% of the people that drink coffee do not have feelings of suicide. That's another interesting aspect you didn't know. Okay.
Hey Barack, my name's Carrie and I'm on multiple government watch lists for what I post on the internet, but I wasn't always. In 2008, I was actually one of your most hysterical supporters. As you might be able to tell from this shirt that's now vintage, it says that you're my homeboy. I waited for 3 hours in the rain